subscribe.
Well, first of all, they're lazy, good-for-nothing tricksters, crack-smoking swindlers, big butt having, wide nose breathing all the white man's air.
I never pee in a toilet. What am I, gay? Never waste male urine. It's great for plants, and it's also great for just around your entire perimeter. Just always piss out there because they smell the male pee. I'm dead serious, it works. Never waste piss. You must drink 2 gallons and hold it for a week. Katana Bear, that's not true at all. Yeah, all your piss is valuable. All of it. It's also good for cleaning your face. I don't have any big bear. Look at any shampoo bottle. They all contain one ingredient, urea. You want to know what urea is? Piss. Just letting you know that the shit you're putting on your body, don't drink the piss. There's all these people like Madonna telling people to drink the piss. No, but urine is great for athlete's foot and for your face, cleaning your face. And it's also great for establishing a perimeter for grabblers.
Somebody get these b***ers out of here.
我们一生注定是沧桑，哭着来，要笑着走过呀。
My name's Alex Stein. I'm considered one of the sexiest men in conservative politics. And one thing I want to say, a lot of people are going to hear my testimony and you're going to say you're anti-LGBTQ. I want to say that's impossible because I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan. So obviously I have a lot of gay pride. But, a lot of conservatives like yourself, you want to outlaw transgenders in women's sports. I disagree. I like transgenders in women's sports because you can gamble on them and win money. I won so much money on Leah Thomas's propeller in that pool. I almost turned draft kings into draft queens. And, I actually like transgenders in the military, too, because, first of all, transgenders are some of the meanest people on planet Earth, so they make a good soldier, don't you think? And then, second of all, transgenders love to do mass shootings. So, that's perfect for a military veteran. And then on top of that, the suicide rate is incredibly high among transgender people, so we could just use them like the Taliban has suicide bombers. Maybe you guys can actually, if you commit suicide, actually help us in the battlefield. So that would be good. So I think we need transgenders in the military and women's sports.
First believe through many dangers, toils, and snares, I have already come. 'Tis grace that brought me safe thus far, and grace will lead me home. When we've been there 10,000 years, bright shining as the sun, we've no less days to sing God's praise than when we first begun.
Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're all having a wonderful Friday night. We have made it to the end of yet another week, and we have been blessed with maybe one of the best products/product trailers in the gun industry of all time, bar none, from none other than KelTec. Absolutely mopping up the competition in terms of the product that they actually released, the trailer. Maybe I'm wrong. Okay, maybe we actually do need teasers for the teaser trailers or announcements for the announcements. Maybe that's actually a good thing because KelTec seems to have actually pulled it off with something I think you'll all be very, very, very excited for. And also, we got some new clips for the media assets. This is me when everybody is complaining about how late I am on my own show.
Somebody get these b***ers out of here.
There we go. Heck yeah. Thank you very much for that. All right. Well, where should we begin? I hope you're all doing well. It's difficult to tell what is a African warlord's personal stash or if it's just what the ATF happens to give to some South American cartel. Here we have a huge haul from the state security table confirmed a massive seizure in San Luis Rio, Colorado, Sonora, a strategic region contested by criminal cells. Like, if your criminal cells are pulling up with this amount of hardware, like that's basically a small army. Okay, that's a PMF right there. Linked to the Sonora cartel, which is also operating in the U.S. amid internal conflicts between the factions of Los Chapitos and heirs of Ismael El Mayo. Zambara. They got such funny names for all their cartels. No idea what any of it means, but it's very funny sounding. As well as cells belonging to the Caborca. All right. During a coordinated operation involving the Mexican Army, National Guard, Attorney General's Office, Navy CMAR, and state police forces, authorities seized a massive arsenal inside a property, 81 long guns, 4 machine guns, AK-47 style rifles, 128 magazines, 275,000 rounds of ammunition. Well, they actually have about the right proportion. You know, for every gun, you got 3,000 rounds of ammo because guns are not very useful without that ammo. Damn, 250,000 rounds of ammo gone in the blink of an eye. Well, let's see. What is the value here? 81 long guns, let's say a K per, 81,000, 4 machine guns, let's say 10K per, 120, 250,000, not including the accompanying equipment. I mean, just look at this haul. AK nerds in the US are saddened every day that this stuff is either going to end up in an evidence locker or more likely resold to a different competing cartel through state corruption. You know, it's like it's just going to change hands magically. This stuff will just get resold by the police to someone else. But what a absolute mega haul, dude. That is flexy. Okay, lots of stuff that we probably can't even get here. Some of this stuff. Yep, good on them. Okay, they're having all the fun south of the border. And thank you to the ATF, CIA, and all other 3-letter organizations that allow them to have all this stuff. But getting into some of the gun news, we have Faxon Firearms, which, man, they're a company that has potential. They could be something, you know, they're like the old guy in the bar that's a little drunk every Friday night, looking at the TV of, you know, whatever it happens to be, whatever sports ball or sporting game is going on. And he's like, oh, that could have been me. I could have been someone. I could have been something. But they continue to just make the worst decisions possible every single time. You know, it's like they could be good, they had potential, but squandered it. So here is from Reardon. Now, Reardon is one of the main makers, contributors to the Plan B system. They definitely kind of popularized it after its creation by Q. They kind of ran with it. Q doesn't necessarily like them all that much, which makes me like Reardon a little bit more. And now everybody kind of uses the Plan B system for their suppressors. If you're not a suppressor nerd, doesn't matter to you, but this will be very important if you're a fan of Faxon and decide to buy some of their products, because Faxon has confirmed that their quote unquote Plan B isn't a true Plan B, which defeats the whole purpose of actually making a Plan B muzzle device so that it's compatible with the entire ecosystem of products in the wild. They've chosen to go, instead of 0.9 by 24, they've decided to go with 29 30 seconds, which is 0.906 by 24, and it is not compatible with 9 by 24 Plan B devices. This can result in an interference fit, and devices may seize in non-Faxon adapters. Now, this is just a terrible idea. You're muddying the waters of the Plan B ecosystem by putting something that's so close that most people probably won't tell until it's too late, right? Until you've cross-threaded your suppressor, until your suppressor no longer comes off, until you get a baffle strike. Like, it's a terrible, terrible idea. I can't believe Faxon would do this when there's a known spec that everyone is copying and everyone is using to good success, whether it's Wolfpack Armory, Reardon, FCD, lots of these companies are making these aftermarket muzzle devices, Evolve Weapon Systems uses some, and they just, we're just going to change it a little bit and still call it Plan B. Absolutely not. And somebody's going to look and be like, oh, look, I'm going to grab a Faxon Plan B muzzle device because I need a Plan B muzzle device. And it kind of fits. It kind of works. Why doesn't my suppressor come off? Why is there an extra hole in the end of my suppressor? Unbelievable. Unbelievably stupid business move. Just way to shoot yourselves in the nuts. Metaphorically, we will get to the literal version of that soon. But I just kind of want to get into it, okay? Because it's a great trailer. It's a great product. Let's talk about KelTec. KelTec, 3, 4, 5 days ago, whatever the Joe Biden saying is, they put out a trailer, a teaser for their trailer, a teaser trailer of the trailer, all right, for the product that launched today, July 24th, 2026. And I got to say it, KelTec did it. PSA couldn't do it. B&T couldn't do it. H&K couldn't do it. Nobody could do it. Okay. Only one that could. B&T. Nope. No way. Only one that could do it. KelTec. KelTec got it done. And they gave us a trailer of surprisingly high quality, which is going to be inverse because we know KelTec products, like even though they're like novel and cool, the actual build quality is so low, like so cheap, like just so much plastic and pot metal, But the quality of the trailer, that's where they spent all the money.
We're receiving reports of a developing situation. Authorities in multiple cities are investigating. Officials have not confirmed the nature or origin of the objects, but
Right. I mean, this kind of feels just like a low budget sci-fi movie, one of those direct to streaming movies that you maybe saw a trailer for on YouTube, but never heard about it again. It feels like a, direct to DVD, old mid 2000s sci-fi special. It's terrible. They're doing a good job, for the budget of probably like a couple grand, maybe. They're doing the best they can. It looks fine. Yeah. Sharknado. Very, very Sharknado pilled.
Hey, man. Thanks for stopping.
Is it just me? What is that? Is that a pocket protector? This guy stepped straight out of the 80s, bro. There it is. Yeah, a pocket protector. When's the last time you guys saw a pocket protector? Like somebody unironically wearing one?
Thanks for stopping.
Was it a sun flare?
I get no cell service out here.
EMP? Oh, give me EMP.
EMP? No, man. It's just my carburetor.
What?
What is that, a satellite?
That's not a satellite, man.
See, I don't know if they used AI or if they used like an actual graphics company or CGI company to make these shots. It might just be AI for all I know, right? But that's the thing. It's gotten to a point where it's like it's probably cheaper and way more efficient just to use like some AI software for a couple of shots than it is to hire an actual like CGI house to render out, 15 seconds worth of stuff. But it's like, it looks cheap. It looks, early 2000s sci-fi trash, B movie, C movie, monster of the week type thing. Just absolute nonsense.
What is that, a satellite?
But you have fun and you don't think about it.
That's not a satellite, man.
See, what is that movie with Chris Pratt that was absolutely retarded? Tomorrow War? Was that the one where he has like a 7.5-inch 5.56 AR with an ACOG on it and all the Hera CQB stuff? Very similar vibe here for like what is probably 1% of the budget or 0.1% of the budget in all reality, but they look almost identical, which is how bad it is.
Take cover!
The hell is that thing?
You ever used one of these before?
What is this?
Yeah, let me get that shot right there. Dude, when I saw that, I was like, what is that? And then it clicked. It's like, oh, this is a micro sub 2000, the snub nub. It's like a 5-inch, 6-inch sub 2K with a shortened recoil system and a pistol brace attached to it. Glock fed, I don't know if it's 17 or 15 round grip on the inside, but this is a true backpack PDW, better than almost anything else on the market in terms of form factor. Like, actually insane how good of a form factor this is for a very competent PDW. Now, if you're a PDW nerd, you're going to go crazy for this. If you're a normal human who's slightly less autistic, it's like, oh, that's novel.
This.
KelTec Sub SDP, or as I affectionately refer to it as the nub sub.
Hell yeah.
The nub sub.
Coming this summer, the KelTec Sub SDP.
Now, I will say the initial package that they have that is comboed with the Vortex Crossfire, not the Crossfire 2, which we have an announcement for after this, but the original Vortex Crossfire is a terrible dot. Do not buy it. Do not buy the initial config. They released 200, I want to say, initial variants of this that have the brace, that have the optic as a combo deal. Don't buy that one. Buy one with a, more reasonable optic, or just one that's bland and you can put whatever you want on top. Don't buy this initial version. It's like the special edition, the combo from the factory, yada, yada, yada. Wait till you can just buy it a la carte.
AKA the nub sub.
The nub
Most
sub.
compact, foldable 9mm ever.
I'm out.
Here. It's a pistol.
Right.
See, now I thought that was very funny. So, of course, he's shouldering it with the brace. And then he has to be informed, no, it's a pistol, guys. Remember, we don't shoulder these. It's a pistol. And then he runs out to go shoot the aliens, of course, one-handing it, because it's a pistol, guys. Remember, it's a pistol. Sure, buddy. See, it's like, why does this look better than like half of the movies coming out nowadays? Like, this one shot is like, yeah, I believe it. I believe a city's on fire. This doesn't looks. This passes the verisimilitude. It works.
I'm out.
Here. It's a pistol.
Right.
Brace yourself for a shooting experience unlike any other.
See, look how small that is. So it's the sideways folding, right? So it doesn't just rotate flat back. It like rotates to the side and then back. So you can still have your optics mounted to it. It compresses super small, like super, super small with the brace. So you pull out the brace, you flip out the barrel assembly, and then you have your charging handle right there ready to go because it's on the underside in the back. Now, it's small enough where you don't even need to do that. I would just leave it in its long configuration. I would just leave it with the barrel deployed as is. I don't think that's a problem. Unless you're putting it in some tiny, 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 tiny bag, but as the quote unquote bag gun, like it's the perfect size. Obligatory, that's average joke. Actually, it's huge. Now that you mentioned it, that's a good point. That's pretty big.
This is amazing. You gotta tell me all about it.
We engineered them back at HQ using pure Florida magic. But you know what? Maybe it's best if you tell them about it.
Who are you talking to?
The KelTec Sub SDP.
See, look, right there. Like, that's the size you want. That's the size you want. That's perfect, okay? It's like 12 inches long, which for a PDW, okay, that's more than enough room. More than enough to do what needs to be done. I think there's technically iron sights on it, though I don't know how you would physically use them, considering they are at the exact same level as the rest of the assembly. But I think that's technically iron sights on top. I suppose if you were actually using it as a pistol with it out in front of your face, you could use the iron sights. But I'm going to guess that most people are going to be putting an optic on it and also using the attached stabilizing brace. But it's a pretty good form factor. Basically, all you need. And the barrel isn't long enough that I wouldn't just have it out in its folded configuration or in its unfolded configuration as standard, unless I was putting a suppressor on the end, because I do believe these come with a 9mm threaded barrel, whether that's half by 28 or half by 36, whatever it might be. So you can have your blowback 9mm suppressed with like 147s and have a quiet, quote unquote, quiet, small little sub gun ready to go and folded and baggable.
Chambered in 9mm, featuring a 6-inch barrel, braced, foldable, compact, modular, ready for any situation. The KelTec Sub SDP. Small package, big capability.
Same. Available now. So yeah, if you head over to the website, this is the initial version that's launching. Right. It's unfortunately comboed with a Vortex Crossfire dot that you don't want. Like, don't get this version. This is not good. But you can see that the brace goes all the way in. The charging handle kind of gets tucked into the brace when it's deployed. So I suppose most people will be carrying it folded, like magazine in the tube, but no round in the chamber. And then you have to deploy the brace, charge it, unfold it if it's folded, and then be good to go. Now here's the thing: the initial version of it with the optic is like 700 credits, which is too much for what it is with that optic. But I think that the retail price on the standard version, a la carte, is going to be like 500 credits. So this is like 1/6 of a B&T TP9, 1/4 of a GHM9, 1/8 of a MP7 or a T7 or whatever they're calling, NT7, whatever they're calling it these days, right? It's a good value when you get the non-initial 200 run unit. Like, this is something that almost everyone can afford, and it's something that almost everyone can use. Now, it is crazy again that Palmetto State Armory had the chance to do this with the X9, but decided not to. Like, it's all it is. It's a, somewhere between a 4 and a 6-inch barrel, 9mm with either a folding stock, a telescoping stock, or something to make the form factor really compact with a, magazine, a grip-fed magazine, right? It's not complicated to do. And somehow KelTec is the first person to do it for like under $1,000, and it still has, a way to mount optics. Now, if you're like, actually, John, I need, my IR laser on here as well. Well, good luck with that one. Okay, buddy. Because I don't think that's going to happen here. I think you have M-Lock for lights, so you can put on a light and a red dot, but getting a lamb on this thing, no, I don't think so. A Goobers mount, listen, Focus Trip, get out of here, okay? If you're going to put a Goobers mount on here, it would actually double the form factor. Also, a Goobers mount folded would be hilarious because it's just like, it's longer, it's taller than it is long in the compressed configuration with the Goobers, GBRS Hydra mount on it. That would be very funny. Although technically you would get, yes, you would get a optic and laser on that. Dang it. That would be awful. All right. So Distilled, the Sub SDP, is the first pistol variant of the iconic Sub 2000. Now, also, the Sub 2K has been around for like 20 years, right? Like forever. I'm actually shocked they didn't just make a shorter version of it a long time ago. The iconic Sub 2K KelTec signature folding carbine that has defined the pistol caliber carbine category for over 2 decades. Yeah, a long time. Same reliability, same folding functionality, same KelTec engineering distilled into the most compact configuration the platform has ever taken. Braced, an integral pistol stabilizing brace delivers control and shootability that transforms the pistol platform, faster follow-up shots, blah, blah, blah. Modular, an integrated M-lock rail, provides accessory attachment for points for lights, lasers, and mission-specific gear. Every sub-SDP is built to be configured the way you carry, shoot, and defend. So you get two 27-round Magpul PMags. Very cool. Again, I would not get the version that comes with the Vortex Crossfire. I would swap that out for almost anything else immediately. I think you have a very, very attractive, compact, baggable, concealable PCC. Again, it's nothing special. It's just direct blowback at the end of the day. But it's kind of cool in terms of the concept that they finally actually got it done. So this is the configuration that launch. Again, the launch variant, I would not get. I don't think this is going to be attractive to most of you. Right. I think it comes with the extra grip pod up front, the two 27-round PMags, the Vortex Crossfire, and they charge you like an extra $200. So for me, no, I would rather just get the standard version when it comes out. And again, for 500 bones, like, I'm going to get one. Of course I'm going to get one. Will I put a Hydra mount on it just to be funny? No. Maybe. I don't know. Would I run this? Oh, dude, I gotta run this at like USPSA PCC matches. That would be so funny. Yeah, I gotta do it. Gotta run this at a PCC match. Or even a rifle match. That would be hilarious. But the initial launch, again, they're only doing 200 at launch, which are the special edition, what you're looking at here. And then the regular versions will follow up. So honestly, KelTec, good on you. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. PSA, BTFO'd. B&T, BTFO'd. H&K, BTFO'd. Everybody else that attempted to do this and failed, thanks, but no thanks. Yeah, get an airsoft goobers mount. Truk. All right, well, now I wonder how you would SBR this, because, well, you wouldn't really need to SBR it because the brace is integral. So... yeah, I don't even think you could SBR this, because it's not a buffer tube. You can't put another stock on there. Maybe there will be aftermarket stock options, like if it's popular. Also, I know people are asking about it in chat. Yes, I guarantee you people will make a super safety for this, right? Some sort of maximum semi-automatic device will be available for this at some point in time. I guarantee you. Yes, it's a pistol. You can SBR anything, Sherry, okay? Great PFP, but listen, man, you can SBR anything if you believe. Okay. Well, let's move on to something that is actually funny that they announced it basically on the exact same day or within the similar time frame, is that Vortex is coming out with the Crossfire 2, which is not being partnered with the KelTec sub-nub, or the nub sub, however they say that. No, it's announced and not coming with that. So you have a new version of the Vortex Crossfire 2 that is actually the opposite in terms of marketing as well. It's just a straight up informational video. Thank you, Vortex, for not doing an announcement of an announcement of an announcement. You just kind of dropped them out there. Thank you for that. I appreciate it.
If you're looking for a small, simple, extremely versatile red dot that's capable of going on any type of firearm and with the option for solar to add to battery life and...
You're thinking of Skillet, right? Breakfast Paladin, when you're talking about Crossfire. Not the band Crossfire, but the Skillet song Crossfire. I also have that song stuck in my head now. Thank you for that. I appreciate that.
runtime, then check out the Crossfire 2 red dot. Starting on the outside, as usual, there's a couple of differences depending on the option that you choose. You can see there's 4 options of the Crossfire 2 in front of me here. Just one of them is non-solar. That's actually the one right in front of me here. The major outward difference is that where the solar panel would otherwise be, right on the top of the optic, that is where this optic features its button controls to control illumination intensity settings on, off, and things.
So basically, that's the version you want. There's only one version of the Crossfire 2 without solar. I don't think everything needs solar. Like, am I crazy, guys? Has anyone actually ever used solar Holosun's been doing solar for like a decade, maybe even longer. When did the 510C come out? A long time ago, right? Has anyone actually ever used it? All right. Am I crazy? Do any of us actually use it on a daily basis or on a yearly basis? Like, I feel like we just don't need it. It just adds cost and complexity and puts buttons in places where I don't want them. Like, stop it, please.
Things like the auto on feature as well. On the solar units, obviously, like I said, that's where the solar panel is, and then those button controls are.
Ironically, it's funny because solar is kind of a trap for poors because they buy the more expensive option of the cheap option, right? So if you get like a Romeo 5, but there's a solar option of it, so they buy the expensive version of the cheap optic. And so it's kind of like a poor tax almost, is like you get the solar version of it, which keeps you in the poor bracket. But when you get into like the top echelon of red dots, there's no more solar, right? Anywhere almost.
On the side. Other than that, the functionality and features of these optics is pretty much exactly the same across the board. Sticking with the outside features, elevation and windage turrets are exposed, low-profile, snag-free turrets. You also have a nice low-profile battery cover there on the same side as the windage turret, which houses a CR2032 battery. The Crossfire 2 uses a high-quality 25mm objective, which is...
Now, that's the big update, okay? Everybody figured out that 20mm windows suck on circle, T2 style optics, okay? 20mm windows are gone. They're done. Never come back. Never want to see another one again. This means that this will compete almost directly with the Holosun ARO Evos in terms of window size, because again, it is a 25mm window. Thank you, Vortex. Correct decision. Do not offer anything smaller than that. It's not needed. Appreciate you very much for that.
Larger than the original Crossfire red dot, and also gives you a clearer image looking through the optic and better performance with a magnifier. Part of what makes the Crossfire 2 red dot so flexible is that it can be mounted on just about any firearm, and what makes that easy to do is the T1, T2 footprint and bolt pattern on the bottom of the optic. It comes with a lower 1/3 co-witness mount like you see in front of me here, and a low mount depending on the type of firearm you're using, but that footprint and bolt pattern matches up with a slew of aftermarket mounts as well. Last but not least, on the X.
So again, it's the included mount looks fine. It's a little spindly. If I remember back in the day, what's his face? Sage Dynamics. He did a drop test. One of his famous drop tests on a Spark Solar back when they first came out, and he just completely bent the daylights, so to speak, out of the Spark Zero, which was very, very funny at the time.
Exterior, like I said, there's 4 models in front of me. 3 of them are black in color, but 1 comes in tan, and that is a model with red only dot and solar functionality. Size and weight on the Crossfire red dot is 2.6 inches long for all.
Average, right, guys? Right, guys? Average, right?
Models, and 4.37 ounces for the non-solar and 4.47 ounces for the solars. Moving to the inside, all these options feature a low profile emitter, making for a clean image through the optic. Now, speaking of that emitter, 3 of these options feature red only emitters. You can get red only in black with solar, black with no solar, or tan with solar. There is one option that features a green emitter, which is the black model with solar and green only. Now, regardless of
that seems weird. I don't know why they separate their product lines like that. Why can't I just get solar, no solar, and red or green on any option that I want? Like, why do I have to be stuck with one or the other? Like, if I get green, I have to get the solar, which is the most expensive option. Now, I don't really care for green dots all that much. My Stigger does not play too well with green, so I prefer the 2 MOA reds personally. But it's just for you guys who love green dots and hate solar. Well, sorry guys. Out of luck. And speaking of which, how's your night going, Sneeko?
Oh, it's going pretty good. About to start praising Allah in the New York City streets.
Well, if you wear a dress and then was it gay porn or solo nude shoots that he did back in the day, Sneeko? I don't remember, but I mean, listen, okay, if you wear a dress,
I don't really want to know. I'm fine not knowing the answer to that question.
Don't look it up. Just go with the rumor mill. It's better that you don't know.
Yeah.
which color emitter you choose, all of these optics have 12 illumination intensity settings. The highest 10 are for daytime shooting, and the lowest 2 are for night vision compatibility. Of course, battery runtime, what powers that emitter, is an important feature. And with the non-solar option, you can expect about 50,000 hours of battery runtime. With the aided functionality of a solar panel on top of these solar options, you can expect about 150,000 hours of battery runtime with your optic on a medium setting.
Now, 150,000 hours of battery life sounds pretty insane. I think that's 15 years, roughly speaking, of use. But I'm also confused because, as far as I'm aware, there's only a couple of red dots that actually use the solar panel to supplement the battery. That is the Primary Arms GLX MD21, the Holosun 510C, and a couple of other optics out there that actually, when you have sunlight, it supplements the onboard battery to project the dot, right? So it'll switch from like 100% battery indoors to 30% battery, 70% solar when you're outside, therefore saving your battery life overall. Most solar panels are only a solar failsafe. When the battery is dead, done, and there's some supplemental illumination, the solar panel will illuminate to some level.
Will do
right?
something.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And it can work. And I've seen it work like without a battery. And I'm like, how is this dot still on without a battery? It's like, oh, it's because it has a solar panel on top, right? So it's like it
I
does
got a solar
something.
panel for SHTF. It's like
yeah,
just
for
have
20 years
some
from now,
batteries.
after the apocalypse, when you've spent your last 10,000 rounds shooting the hooligans who have come for you or whatnot, it's all
calling them
make believe
hooligans
fantasy
now?
stuff. Okay, bro. Vortex meth jawline confirmed. That's just a bad still. Okay, I'm sure he's a nice guy.
Save battery life and aid in that extended battery runtime. All of the Crossfire 2 options feature motion activation with auto shutoff after 10 minutes. After sensing 10 minutes of complete inactivity, the optic will automatically power down, and as soon as it senses motion, it'll power right back up to the last setting you had it at, so it's ready to go at a moment's notice. This is something that you can program and turn off if you don't want it to do auto shut off. And that's
so I love the contrast of that. Did you happen to catch the KelTec advertisement that we just watched?
No, I just hopped in stream. I was actually
Okay, this is
outside moments ago.
The KelTec version is so much better. Like, both insane. Well, not insane. Okay, the product is better and the trailer is way better. And then the opposite side of the spectrum is Vortex having like the most mundane release of all time. The only thing that I'm excited is like the Holosun ARO Evo has another competitor, so you have a big windowed T2 style optic for like 200 credits or a little bit under 200 credits. So listen, okay, pores are eating good. You can put your Vortex Crossfire 2 onto your sub nub and have a good time with it, right? And it's just funny as well that KelTec did not manage to partner the new sub nub with the new Crossfire, but the old Crossfire. Oh well, very sad. Now I actually forgot to start out this stream because I forget a lot of things, but I have like some announcements that I should have gotten to. So first off is that a very kind gentleman spent a lot of money and bought a bunch of extra Carnicon shirts, right? So he wants me to give them away. And I don't know how to give them away. So I have a couple of extra ones here. He's going to be sending me some more. I need to give them away to people. He, spent a ton of money and bought a bunch of extra ones. So I don't know how to best do that. So it's kind of up to you guys. How should I go about giving you guys free Carnicon shirts so that you guys can, rep the boys, okay? As Dugan Ashley is currently still sitting in jail. I think they're going through the discovery process right now. Updates will be coming in the future, I'm sure. Some cool stuff happening in the background that we can't quite talk about. But yeah, I feel like, should we do it like if you send me first come, first serve, if you send me a picture of you, like your donation receipt to his GoFundMe, I will send you the shirts for free. So like we could do it that way. So at least, you donate $10 to Dugan and you get a free shirt out of it. So like, I don't want any money out of this. I just want the money to go to the right places. So I don't know. Maybe that's a good incentive for me to give these away to people. Yeah, maybe something better. I don't know, Dank. Any ideas?
You could make them grovel on video. Please, 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 please.
Somebody
please.
get these b***ers out of here.
Exactly. I don't know. Something like that could work. Please give shirt. Second would be nice for the wife. Yeah, but I don't want you to pay me to give you the shirt because then I'm just taking money from somebody who wants to do good for Dugan, which I'm not going to do. Let me go ahead and drop the Give Send Go link in the chat for everybody, okay? Just to refresh your memory. Again, no huge updates yet, but I'm sure there will be more stuff coming. All right, there's the link in the chat for everyone. I think we'll do that. If you send me, like DM me on Instagram or Gmail or whatever it might be, a copy of your donation receipt, I will send you a t-shirt for free, okay? But first come, first serve. Once I'm out. That's it. That just is what it is, right, guys? Can we come to your house to pick them up? No. Absolutely not. They'll be stored at an off-site location. Okay, another announcement that I forgot to get to again at the beginning of the stream is that, give me a second. I have the T-Rex Arms Titan holster. Look at this bad boy. The level 2 holster with the oversized release knob there. It's I am kind of unimpressed, guys. So first off, the hood like just flops. Like, so it has almost no tension at all when it locks in place. And then once you take it out, the hood just flops around. The Safariland style has a little bit more tension. It has a much more positive lockup. So this just kind of flops around, which I don't like as much. The fit is not very good. So there is an RXM in the holster that is designed for. This is the 4.5-inch RXM holster with a TLR1. And man, I had to loosen it all the way up to even get the gun to lock in. So like these screws are like barely holding on to anything because I had to loosen them all the way up to get them to even fit, to get this gun to lock into the holster. Now, maybe with some trial and error and 1,000 draws out of this thing, it will loosen up a little bit. But one of the things that I like about my Alien gear and about my Safarilands is that they have a very positive lockup. Like when the gun is in, that it's in. Okay, no, is it in yet? Type of stuff has a very positive lockup. Whereas this is way more of a friction fit, like a super friction fit. And because of that, it does not have a positive lockup, does not feel particularly good. Also, something else that I was really disappointed in is that after all that we've been through over the last year with the P320, is they couldn't cover more of the trigger guard. Like there's a lot of daylight, and it's all the way in there. There's a lot of daylight between
Just
the holster.
Slip a little thingy in there.
I can physically put my finger in here and pull the trigger. Like, why wouldn't they just raise this up like another ½ inch? I am actually shocked that they did that bad of a job guarding the trigger. Like after all the like, look how bad that is. You can see it's kind of hard to tell with the light in here, but that's the trigger on the inside. You can just see that. And no, it's all the way in the bottom. It does not go any further. It is completely bottomed out. So unless there's some sort of internal adjustment thing that I'm crazy about, like that's it.
What's cheaper than
see,
one of those?
you can see the trigger. That's the trigger right there, guys.
Oh, I see it. Hey,
you see the trigger. It's right there. So I'm not super impressed. Maybe there is some adjustment that I need to work on to figure it out, but
yeah. What's cheaper than that is if you have an M9, you could just get an old Safariland's surplus holster for $30.
Ooh, that's a good point. Samwick says you can't reach the trigger if you have T-Rex arms. Okay, now, sorry. Last thing to announce or to talk about is that I did it. I got it. I got the MG15E receiver in today. Had to go into town and pick it up from my local gun store. So this is the 350 credit lower receiver that uses ambidextrous ACR controls. And you know what? For what is essentially a mil-spec lower, a very, nicely machined, very high quality, nice bevel on the magwell, mil-spec receiver. 350 bones is too much money. It's way too much money for this thing, because essentially what it is it's one lever down here that is then bolted to a rod that attaches to your or indexes underneath your bolt catch, right? And then a spring, and that's it. So for 2 additional pieces of metal, a little bit of drilling, and a spring, this is, $300 over your standard lower receiver. And again, it's high quality. It feels nice. It looks nice. The machining looks good. There's no marks or chatter or anything like that. The trigger guard is nicely done. The fit and finish, the 3 positions look nice. The bevel on the magwell is really, really deep, which I kind of like. It's not like a sharp edge or anything like that. But yeah, it's just too expensive. A little too expensive. Oh well, I will put it to good use on something for sure.
I could buy a shorty PSA rifle and bring it to the inner city and go in gang shootouts for the same price as that lower. Come on.
You could almost buy this snub, the snub, or whatever they call it, for the price of this lower receiver, okay? Because I think these are going to be around 500 credits, and this one here was like 350 before transfer and shipping and all that fun stuff. So, yeah, I hope I like it. I hope it's good. I hope it doesn't fall apart, but far too much money for what it is.
Real quick, I'm getting called away, so I was here for a very short amount of time. But,
I appreciate it. Thanks for hanging out, man.
Have fun on stream. I'm also lagging horrifically. I don't know if that's coming through on your end or whatever, but
you're freezing up a little bit every now and again. But have a good night.
Yeah.
Godspeed out there. And that was El Danko, the cameo of the evening. Appreciate
God bless.
That.
Go to church and whatnot.
That's right. Spend your weekend well.
Somebody get these b***ers out of here.
All right. Well, Rare Breed Triggers doing rare breed things once again. We have another lawsuit in the works, and I think Arizona Regulators is also on the chopping block, the metaphorical chopping block of the rare breed lawsuit litigation train.
He's not going to show his face.
They actually created a slider on Instagram. That's crazy, dude. $1 billion company, by the way.
He's just the paperwork guy. That's why my hand's in front of it. But the box that he's delivering... Here, can we open this real quick? Yep. Rare Breed Triggers is suing me, which is fucking hysterical. So,
you and Larry,
we'll figure this out. But yeah, so per the entirety of the gun world, everybody hates Rare Breed Triggers. I'm going to tag Rare Breed Triggers in this and let you guys know that you're a bunch of cunts. And there's a reason that we all make videos talking about how shitty you are as a company. And we all know that you are just doing the ATF's bidding because you're too scared to fight the ATF. You're a bunch of cowards. And you are also extremely greedy because I don't make anything that remotely resembles anything that you make. You literally have the ability to be the beacon of shining hope for the entire gun world and the trigger making space. And you guys decided to be assholes. So we're all going to continue to hate you.
They had a chance. Rare Breed had a chance. Okay. They had the opportunity to do one of the coolest things of all time, to beat the ATF at their own game, to win, to dominate, to have the entire industry love you forever. And instead they decided to turn heel, okay, and be the bad guy of the gun industry and sue everyone. Step 1, sue everyone. Step 2, be hated. Step 3, profit? Which, to be fair, I think they are actually profiting. I think it is actually working out for them, considering that they they're partnering with B&T for drop-in factory FRTs, Titman Arms, and I'm sure they're going to continue to be very successful in selling their FRTs to ethnics in the hood, so to speak. So, I mean, the business model appears to be working out, no matter how much we hate them.
And it's just going to get worse from here. So we'll have fun with this. Oh, and we'll win. Just like everybody else that you're trying to sue is going to beat you as well. Bye.
Now, I am not as positive as he is that everybody is going to beat them. But it is funny that if you go to their website here, Moonlight Industries, not that I would ever recommend that. Free metal, FRT, attention all hot dog eating, baseball throwing, stealth bomber flying, AR-15 shooting patriots. Effective immediately, all website sales will include a complimentary drop-in FRT. Works with most lowers. Have a blessed 4th of July, baby. If you can read this promo is still live. Colorado is no longer qualified for promo due to SB 25-003. So a little bit about Moonlit Industries. Nice of them to do that. They make some, apparel, some merch, some kit, so to speak. And because of that, because they were doing business that Rare Breed does not enjoy, well, they're going to get sued and have to spend a lot of their hard-earned money fighting this in court, which is gay, which is lame. And yes, the crown is quite good. The crown, the camo crown, does call to me, though I do wish it was an M81. I need an M81 Burger King crown for reasons, okay? Tragic. And yeah, I kind of agree with too many choices here, okay? Buy a lottery ticket. I agree with too many choices here. A lot of people are going to lose against Rare Breed because they have a lot of money. This stuff is 50-50 to begin with. Good luck out there. Good luck out there, friends. Oh, it does come in M81. Okay. All right. You don't have to sell me like that, Milspec Max. Jeez. All right. Lay off. Being a little pushy in your salesmanship here. Okay, guys. Well, we're an hour in, and we've got a couple very, very, very painful stories to get into. This man, this was shared with me by Sinastral Rifleman on Discord and a couple other people saying, hey, you should check this out. It's a funny story. It's, what can go wrong when you're concealed carrying with, that's a really weird holster. We'll talk about it, okay? But this gentleman lost a testicle and a liter of blood to an accidental discharge. And this is Northwind Aerial. I'm not familiar with the channel. I hope he does good work. But let me go ahead and drop this in the chat for all of you lovely folks to go over and tell him hello and, congratulate him, console him on his absolutely, nutty situation, the ball on this man to post this video. You know what I'm saying? He really had to nut up and take one for the team. I mean, just,
Well, this is a video I never really planned to or wanted to make, but feel the need to kind of fill everyone in on what's been happening the last week or so. Last week, during a professional training operation, I had an accidental discharge of a firearm. This is despite at least 15.
He was really shooting ball ammo. Well, listen, Todd and Dogs. I think he's taking the jokes in stride. Okay, the comment section is absolutely, every pun under the sun. I think it's okay to be able to, the guy made a mistake. It happens. Could happen to anyone. That's why we should all be very vigilant and careful and intentional when we're using our toys, right? Or our firearms or whatever you want to call them. Tools, okay? But I think it's all right to poke fun at yourself. Something bad happened. You managed to live to tell the tale. Like, it's going to be okay.
Years of professional experience with firearms, plus many, many years of training. And
oh, that's so funny. John, apologize to Owen Benjamin right now. That's right, for saying appendix carry is spiritually trans. That's so funny. Not yet. Okay, not yet. All right. Hasn't happened to me yet. Therefore, it's not a problem. All right. I'm going to pull out my white girl energy. That's like, oh, well, I haven't blown one of my nuts off yet. So therefore, it's not a problem.
Safety with firearms beforehand. I was in the military for 4 years, including a year as an armorer. I have trained with weapons of all different types. I have trained other people on how to use firearms.
He passed the test, Ickle, with flying colors red. I
am meticulous about firearm safety. It's been kind of
metisticalist firearm safety. I don't know.
My badges of honor for teaching people on how to use them is how many people go.
Ooh, that's a good question. Okay, guys. Would you rather be shot in the foot and perhaps have limited mobility for the rest of your life? or get shot in the nuts. Right? It's what an awful. I actually know a guy in baseball, in high school baseball, who got hit in the cup so hard with a baseball. I think he was trying to steal second base. Pitcher or catcher just laser beams it into his crotch, and he had to have one of his testicles removed from baseball. So I mean, it does happen. You know, there's people out there with one testicle.
Tim knows his shit. He knows how to be safe. So that's why having this happen to me, it's still taking some time for my brain to wrap around what happened, and is sometimes still a little bit hard to discuss because of the shame that comes with being someone that it happened to. So,
bro, okay, you guys are actually like really split on this. That's crazy. You can't get prosthetic nuts. It's like, it's okay. One nut. Okay. One nut or shot in the foot, possible like permanent movement damage, right? Permanent movement debuff. Yeah, I know, guys. People are like, no, I'll get shot in the nuts. Both Uncle A Gang. I think that's a rumor. I don't know. Is that verified? Is that true that he actually lost a nut in World War One? But oh man, I agree. I'm actually going to say, you know, losing one nut over your foot is preferable. I think so. Sinastral says foot. Ah man, dude, you say it's not hard as if the chat isn't split 50-50. In fact, the chat is so split. We're just going to put it to a poll. Okay. Would you rather get shot in one nut or one foot? I have to know. Okay, this is going to be very scientific here. A poll of like 700 people in chat right now.
I'm going to do a full video breakdown on. I've got my old man cane for getting whippersnappers off. I can walk without it.
I understand. I don't think he got shot in the leg. It was just his nuts. But still, like, just the idea of moving with a hole in your nutsack, right? Like, guys, like, you know, like that's got to be the next couple of months are just nightmare territory, right? Where you have a bandaged hole in your nuts. Like, how do you sew up a nutsack? I don't even want to know. I'm not going to look it up, guys. I'm not going to look up how to deal with a punctured scrotum. Okay, it's just not going to be my thing.
It's just pretty painful. So I'm gonna back up so you can see that where's the camera? See, I got my catheter bag. I guess I should talk about probably. I guess I should probably talk about where it happened. I until about a week ago, appendix carried my CCW, my concealed carry weapon, meaning that I had a holster in the front.
Pump it up, fix a flat. That's right. All right, buddy. Thank you.
And me being as safe as I thought I was, as safe as I, always planned to be, I've always carried one in the chamber because I've wanted to be able to engage a potential threat without having to rack to slide back. Well, all of that came into a head a week ago when I went to, during this training, during a full, that's one thing I really want to hammer home. This was not screwing around off in the hills. It's not even on camera because this was not for the Northwind Aerial Channel. This was just a full-blown, planned out, scheduled professional training. And I was getting ready to do it.
Well, I don't know why that's a necessary factor, right? I guess maybe if you're like some hillbilly hick who's like running around and, shooting guns in the air, or maybe some inner city use, maybe that's a factor. But I mean, like, my training sessions don't look any different whether it's a planned event or just like my normal weekly training session. So I guess some people are different. There's like social shooting events, there's like professional shooting events, there's training shooting events, there's fun shooting events, but to me, it's basically all the same.
A course of fire. And as I went to draw my weapon from the holster, it went off in the holster. I'm not going to sit here and say that I didn't accidentally finger the trigger because I don't know. Will we ever know what caused it? Probably not. I don't know because it very likely could have gotten caught on my shirt or my belt or the holster itself. When I'm feeling mentally and physically able, I'm going to do some experimenting of my own, and I will make a follow-up video to this later on. This is not so much a discussion of you know, how I'm going to grow from this or whatnot sort of video. This is more just to kind of let everyone know what's going on and why, you know, it's going to be even, you know, it's going to be.
Now we do have a picture of the holster here. So if you look at the exit wound of the holster, which again, I have no idea what holster this is, but it doesn't really, unless I'm crazy, like this is the light bucket here. Where the heck is the trigger guard? Like, what is this? Can anybody identify what holster this is? It's not a sidecar style, but where is the trigger guard? And you can see that the way it looks to me is that the gun was coming into the holster, not all the way down, but coming into the holster at an angle. So like a reholster angle. Wasn't quite all the way in the holster. Something, whether his finger, whether a shirt, whether whatever happened to be on his belt, something managed to get in the trigger guard and get it to go off. No way he cut it off. Is that, it looks clean unless he like really nicely beveled it, but where is the trigger guard? That's my question. It was coming out of the holster. Well, same thing. Either whether it's coming in or out, it was in that like almost in, almost out, about an inch, you know, so it might have been angled one way or the other a little bit, whether it was, you know, on the draw motion or on the reholster motion, same direction, right? Or same place of shooting.
Hard for me to keep editing for a bit. I have one video almost done. I'm going off on tangents. Anyways, I drew my weapon from my holster from the time of the Proctor going beep with the stopwatch to the round going off, probably less than half a second. The round went through my holster. It went through my penis, and it went.
Oh, wow. Wow. That is really hard to hear, man. Oh, wow. That is hard to hear. That is damn.
Probably less than half a second. The round went through my holster. It went through my penis, and it went through my left testicle. So I am, as several of my fire department buddies have lovingly started calling me, I'm half sack now. That's my call sign. Was rushed into surgery where my left testicle was removed. And right now I have to wear a catheter for probably the next month or so because of damage to my urinary tract. The bullet center punched both my penis and scrotum and.
Oh my gosh. Oh, like straight down too, bro. Ah. Whoa. Whoa. No, like, yeah, no, that makes me like almost have like the gag reflex, you know? Like your whole body like tenses up and it's like, oh. Whoa. I think everybody's going back and switching their vote to foot. We'll take the foot, bro. What the F? Who's the cougar? Get out of here, bro. Listen, hit that man with the horny stick. Jeez.
Left testicle.
Aw, see, that's funny, right? His friends, his bros, they bring him Honey Nut Cheerios, Nut Butter Bar, Simply Fuel protein balls, pistachios. Like, that's funny, okay? They're living with the joke. Like, the event already happened. Like, you can be mad or you can just deal with it. TND, but total nut death. That's funny. That's funny.
To show you, to give you an idea of like how good of an aim that I have, it went through the seam of my jeans, in the pants of my jeans. That's how center punched it was. It's a miracle that I'm alive. 3 degrees difference in aim, and that bullet would have been in my femoral artery.
Possible.
This is probably one of the things that makes me, cringe the most was a hollow point round. I did not bring any FMJ training rounds with me, so I used the ammunition that I carry every day.
AMR, that is a wild statement. Worst pool break I've ever seen. Damn. And yeah, he says it was a jacketed hollow point. Now, fortunately, okay, with most of us, there's not enough meat to cause the 9mm to actually expand all that much, right? Because it needs enough tissue to actually cause it to expand and do its thing. But fortunately, since there's not a whole lot down there, usually, okay, I know some of you guys are a little different. Like the JHP is just going to punch right through. Oh, buddy. Pool shatter, pool explosion.
Makes me, cringe the most was a hollow point round. I did not bring any FMJ training rounds with me, so I used the ammunition that I carry every day because I have a plethora of it and figured why not use it up? I need to get some newer rounds anyways. These rounds are, quite a bit old. It was a Glock 23, 40 Smith & Wesson hollow point round.
Sorry. So it was a 23. So yeah, 40 Smith & Wesson hollow point. Straight to the junk. Yeah, he'll never call 40 short and weak again. You know what I'm saying? All right. It took half cock. It took half my cock and one nut on the way down.
23, 40 Smith & Wesson hollow point round. It's the weapon I've carried since I bought it. It's been my concealed carry weapon. And it's to holster the
45 would have gotten both. That's true. 2 world wars, 2 nut sacks. Or 2 nuts, both nuts on the way down. It's not funny, but it's kind of funny, right?
That I've worn for at least 5 years, I think. Shit happens. It was an accident. It was a training accident. I am embarrassed. I am feeling a lot of guilt, and a lot of shame, and a lot of self-hatred for it.
Well, mistakes happen. It's not an excuse for the mistakes, but you gotta learn from that. You gotta grow from that. You gotta use it. It can't just be self-loathing. It can't just be self-hating. It's gotta be a productive use of your time. Now, obviously, you cause that much pain to yourself. You cause that much pain to your family, the medical bills, doing that in front of your friends, doing that in front of your bros. Like, obviously, that's not a pleasant experience to go through. I get it, but got to use it for something positive. At least try to. What are you going to do? Regrow a nut?
That is getting better. I am healing.
Odie, stop it. Nobody wants that imagery. Not a single person wants to know if it flayed out his meat like a hot dog bun. Not a single person wants to know that. Thank you for putting that imagery in the chat, Cody.
Mentally and physically. The physically is going quite well. I have a lot of stitches down there. I would happily...
What's it hanging on? Never mind. Well, a little to the left, a little to the right, a little here, a little there. Oh, brother.
That is getting better. I am healing mentally and physically. The physically is going quite well. I have a lot of stitches down there. I would happily...
Oh, just the idea of having 30 stitches down the shaft into your sack. Again, I don't want to know the mechanics of how all of that works. Do you have a penis specialist surgeon who's like, oh yeah, dude, I've seen a lot of these in my time. Okay, a lot of 320s in this area. Okay, I'll get your cocks fixed right up. All right, don't worry about it. How's it hanging? Mostly. Money shot. A second circumcision. You would need 200 stitches. The bullet gets stopped halfway through.
That is getting better.
Dude, peeing probably looks like, one of those what's the term for it? It's one of those sprinklers, right? where it's just like coming out of everything and spraying left and right. That's probably what it looks like. It's one of those sprinkler type deals. Yeah.
Healing mentally and physically. The physically is going quite well. I have a lot of stitches down there. I would happily send you some photos or show some photos on here, but then, I'd end up being a Minecraft YouTuber, and YouTube would
don't do that.
probably delete the channel. So we're going to leave those bits unexposed to the internet as a whole.
I'm leaving my bits unexposed. Yeah, that's for the best, huh? If this guy ever does turn out to be like a predator, it's going to be pretty easy to identify him if he starts, sending images to people. It's like, oh, there's Dave. There's one nut Dave with his chopped up pinar. Pretty easy to identify. He'll never be accused of being cocky again. Buddy.
It's not a pretty sight. It did a lot of damage, and it's quite painful. As you can see, I'm leaning forward on my Renoir cane right now, because it sucks, especially to stand. I've been spending a lot of time laying down and recovering, which is hard for a guy like me who wants to be up doing things, especially.
I think naturally you're going to have so much lower test that your natural, daily functions as a man will probably be impeded. But yeah, you probably would want something like some sort of suppressive, or I'm sure he's on a bunch of pain meds too that probably dull his senses a little bit. But yeah, getting aroused, so to speak, with a stitched up pinar. Oh, buddy.
As Almond Harvest is starting very soon. It's another source of major amount of guilt is that I'm unable to help out with harvest at the moment or any sort of farm work.
Yep.
Because even standing right now, the catheter puts me in so much pain from all of the incisions and everything down there that I'm basically useless. And even when it comes to editing, thankfully.
Sorry, Chud. Are you timing somebody out in chat? Is somebody complaining about Chud? Listen, okay, Chud has impunity to do literally anything in the chat. So you can complain to me if you want, but if Chud is timing someone out for being a person. Hey, how's it going, JP? It was a Glock 23 40 cal with some form of duty hollow point straight through his pinar and nutsack. Yikers.
As you can see, kind of like, different perspective from, the way the camera is for most of my videos. I've converted everything to a standing desk before all this happened because I was trying to get more exercise and during the long editing sessions. In standing here right now, as soon as I finish recording this video and start uploading it, I'm going to go back and lay down because I'm in a considerable amount of pain. I'm thankfully off narcotics already. I ditched those as soon as I could because the opiate dependency scares the living hell out of me. And I was starting to get the withdrawal symptoms of weird, fuzzy headaches and just craving them for the sake of craving them. So I haven't had narcotics, and tomorrow will be a week since I've had my last dose of narcotics. And I'm down to just a medium dose of ibuprofen generally at night to help me sleep.
That's most of us, honestly. Morning.
As you see, my spirits are still pretty high. It's taken a while to get here. This has been definitely one of the most depressing moments of my entire life, especially the day after surgery. It sucked majorly. And it's going to be a long, long road to healing. I will get back into using firearms. Right now, I probably should get myself into therapy firsthand. I've had a lot of friends and families and even some doctors recommended due to the amount of stress in my life and, the amount of accumulated post-traumatic stress from 11 years as a first responder. And now this, when I even think about pulling out a firearm to shoot it, I start getting nauseous and my hand.
Appalachia ape. You know what won't get sucked majorly? Stop it, bro. Stop it. Damn. Therapy is a little gay coded for sure. Like, I don't think men should go to therapy. I mean, come on, that's for women and gays. Okay. All right. It's not for us, but I mean, I get it. It's a metaphorically and literally, it is a huge shot to your manhood right? To be incapacitated in such a way that is essentially your fault. It was your doing that did this. It incapacitated you in front of your friends, in front of your brothers, in front of your peers, puts you out of commission for weeks or months. You're not able to help out. So your sense of purpose as a man, whether that's helping others, whether that's, sacrificing for others, working for your family, loving your family, like that's where a lot of men get their self-worth from, is in service to others, in service to their community. That's when men feel the most fulfilled. So when you essentially become the opposite of that, when you're now dependent, right? You are now a drain, a drag on all of these people that you were just helping out. There is a large psychological impact there where you feel like you're not worth anything and you should just be thrown to the wayside, right, in your own mind, because you're like, I'm no longer an asset, I'm a drag, and this is like, the worst, lowest point in my entire life, which, for him it might be. So, he needs camaraderie. He needs, a spiritual father. He needs to be going to church. He needs to be doing these other things. Therapy is not the best path, in my opinion.
Hands get sweaty and they start trembling a little bit. We will get back to it, and I will bounce back from this. And I'm already trying to find out ways in order to use my experiences to help others, to counsel others, guide others through injuries such as this. I would never be anywhere close to as healed up as I already am if it weren't for the overwhelming support of friends and family, both online and in real life. The outpouring has been one of the most incredible things to make me feel loved this entire time. I can't thank all of you who've reached out enough. I truly can't. And I almost want to, I thought about listing like the people and giving them specific thanks, but it doesn't seem fair, and we'd be here for another half hour, and I'm having a hard time standing from the pain right now. So I just want to say thank you, everyone who has reached out. There has never been a single.
I think that's basically the meat of the video, for lack of a better term. Thank you, Noob Crasnator, for sending me the holster. So I believe this does look pretty darn close to the holster that he posted on Instagram. And you can see again the bullet hole about an inch away from the bottom of the muzzle, and what looks to be a very minimalistic, or I would consider like not enough of a trigger guard. There needs to be more of a trigger guard here. That is not good. So here is what it looks like with a pistol on the inside. Again, I believe he was carrying a Glock 23, 40 cal, 4.5 inch barrel, right? TLR 1 on the bottom. And honestly, it's funny. It looks better than the freaking T-Rex Arms Titan that we have here in terms of its trigger guard coverage. But still, like, if there's one thing that you need to make sure of, it's not that you need to buy a majorly expensive holster, but you do need to make sure the holster that you carry is safe for the gun that you have, and that the fitment is good for the gun that you have. Make sure the trigger guard is protected. Make sure that nothing can get in there that you don't want to get in there. There's also an alternative hypothesis or possibility here that he just straight up pulled the trigger on the drop, that he got really excited, and it happens to the best of us. People do things, people make mistakes all the time. Humans aren't machines. And you get cocky, you get lazy, you're not intentional as you should be. You build up really bad habits. Like, people who are good can build up really bad habits. Like, you can get in the habit of like I've done this before, right? So it's like you go from a Glock trigger to like a really nice 2011 trigger. And so you get used to always prepping the trigger through to the wall, right? When you're drawing or transitioning, or like moving from target to target on a Glock with a really heavy trigger. And that can work, but then it's like you switch to something that's a much lighter trigger, and now you're prepping to the wall, and now you're just breaking shots when you don't mean to. Now you're putting your finger on the trigger before you're ready to actually fire, and now you're inducing a dangerous situation. So it's best to just not have that habit in the first place and just treat basically every trigger the same, and that is to basically be all the way off of it until you're ready to fire, right? You don't need to prep. Like, just roll through the trigger smoothly and quickly. You'll be fine. You'll figure it out. There's no need to like overly prep every trigger that you're, shooting, unless you're shooting at like 100 yards and you're doing like bullseye style shooting or something like that. But I pull the trigger now basically the same in every style of gun, which is just pull all the way through, just like that. All the way on, all the way off. I don't care about 0.7 splits or something like that. No, it's just all the way on, all the way off. Don't break shots early. Don't prep the trigger. Also, hey, maybe double single action is the way to go. Maybe manual safety is the way to go. Who knows here? But if you're somebody who likes to prep the trigger like right out of the holster or has your finger going into the holster, ooh, buddy, don't do that. Bullseye shooting, that's true. Not bullseye shooting, bullseye shooting. And yeah, it looks pretty similar to that holster. Not a big fan of it. Hope that guy has a very swift recovery. Now let's go ahead and bad screenshot there. My apologies. Let's go ahead and check out the comments here. Oh, buddy. All right. Sig Boy's breathing a sigh of relief the second he said it was a Glock. It takes ball to admit you made a mistake. This man has big ball for talking about this. Man, that's nuts. Geez. Keep your eye on the ball, sir. So the legend begins of half sack. How nutty. Oh, no. Absolutely tragic situation for you, bro. And I hope that you have got a wrecking ball now. I hope that you fully recover and get back into things and have a very fulfilling, full life. And hopefully this is a good warning to other people. One, carry a holster that covers your trigger guard. Two, keep your finger off the trigger. Don't carry a P320 as well. I think that's always a good thing. Now, speaking of things that go off a little too early, bros, oh my gosh, man, we got Yeezy. We got YZY, American Years of Lead here. And he's in yet another article from the Rolling Stone. This man, don't misgender the man. Don't assume, okay? It's 2026, Jack. This man wants to help you print your own gun inside the shadow world of plastic gunsmiths and the government forces trying to shut them down. Sounds like a trailer to some ancient movie. Anyways, let's watch the video.
This is an unregistered 3D printed ghost gun. The government does not know it exists.
Even in the fog of war, a tank is visible.
For the latest issue of the magazine, I traveled to rural Appalachia to investigate a new trend in American society, 3D printed weapons.
The fact that this guy's in rural Appalachia and is such a effeminate, weird man with degenerate social tendencies is truly sad. It's a abomination to his name and to his locale.
And just like that, there's your 3D printed Glock.
3D printed weapons represent a new frontier in the arms industry. They're an easy way for almost anyone to create their own weapon without any kind of registration or paperwork.
Yeah, I know it's 2026 and they're acting like it's 2016 and we're all on like the P80 website buying our 80% kits with our jigs and we're drilling them out in our basement. It's like, oh, it's so scary and sketchy. And it's like, nah, people have been doing this for decades, man. Yeah, hicklibs. Terrible phenotype. Awful. Probably the worst, okay? Like inner city, libs who have never seen the country, like that makes sense. They live in a little bubble and they're retarded and you understand it. When you actually live in the country and you see like these types of people, it's like, ugh, disgrace to your ancestors, okay? Your ancestors had it right, okay? Your ancestors were based. They look down upon you and frown.
This is a 3D printed MP5 known as the SF5. It was designed by Ivan the Troll. It's an open source, a 3D printable at home DIY MP5 that anyone can build pretty much anywhere in the world. There is no serial number on this gun. There was no background check required for me to produce this gun. As far as the government is concerned, this gun doesn't exist except for this video.
Yeah, see, that argument is so silly as well. Like maybe in some sort of future end state in 50 years when we're all like ancient and our children or grandchildren are fighting the dystopian future against the AI overlord, robotic army or whatnot. But like right now, dude, it's like you have flock cameras in your hometown that track your every movement, whereabout, and you're literally tracked 24/7 via your cell phone in your pocket, via the websites you go to. Like, if the government wants any information on you at all, they already have it. So even the idea of a ghost gun, like they know if you have a 3D printer and can pretty easily figure out like what you're what you're making or what you possess, right? Especially if you post things online. Spoiler alert, if you post anything online, it's no longer a ghost gun. It's no longer some super secret crazy thing. It's like, nope, it's pretty easy to figure out.
Here today that we were recording.
My guide into this world was a gunmaker who goes by Yeezy.
Also, dude, cat people, it's just there's a certain type, all right? They love cats more than humans, and they always just end up being like disgusting, awful, evil people. And that's why they attribute like, oh, humanity is just like me. They're all awful and evil. And I like cats because cats are heckin' based or something. And it's like really cringe. But it's also projection, of course, because the truth is you're the awful, evil one. And the cat is just like, you know, a cat.
Yeezy believes that everyone, regardless of...
Listen, I literally beat my cat. I also need to convert my cat to Christianity, okay? So I gotta, it's following a false prophet, and it's a freaking cat, okay? So it's gonna get beat.
Their identity deserves the ability to buy, build, or carry whatever armament they want.
We see a lot of queer folk, of trans folk who want to arm themselves without appearing on a list somewhere. Like, for instance, in California.
Well, Yeezy, why? You're already on a list, okay? Weight Watchers Anonymous, bro.
Folk who want to arm themselves without appearing on a list somewhere. Like, for instance, in California, their entire concealed carry list was leaked to the public. This helps people arm themselves discreetly and effectively.
Left-wing gun enthusiasts in particular worry they may be the first to feel Trump's boot.
Sorry, say that again, please. Left-wing gun enthusiasts in
Left-wing gun
particular.
enthusiasts in particular worry they may be the first to feel Trump's boot.
All right, listen up, leftoids. I got a secret for you. Trump is not the heckin' fascist you think he is. All right, I'm just gonna say it. He's not the best based Hitlerino ever. Okay, it's not gonna be his boot on your neck holding you down. It's gonna be mine. Okay, not Trump. Not Hitler 2.0, mine, okay? Trump ain't that guy. He ain't that guy. Trust me, pal. He ain't that guy.
As his administration has declared anti-fascist groups to be domestic terrorists and stepped up efforts that may prevent specific groups like transgender people from owning firearms.
See, even that, it's like, it's not true, though. Of course, transgender people shouldn't have firearms. They're all mentally insane, and they should all get the psychiatric help that they need. All right. But of course, like, you know, if you are mentally adjudicated as defective, which I think all trans people definitionally are, right? That's my personal belief, of course. Then yeah, no, you should not sell them firearms. They should not own firearms. They should not be allowed in public within 500 feet of a school, probably in, asylums, which we're all going to be reopening until they can be determined to be fixed. Right. And I'm sure there's lots of treatments that we could go into to solve this problem. Of course, now it is a self-correcting issue, 50-50, roughly. Okay. Halfway there. Great song, by the way.
Yeezy thinks the solution to this is a 3D printer.
We see people call trans folks school shooters all the time, even though that's a largely,
even though they're insanely overrepresented in school shootings and in all of their manifestos. They hate children. They hate Christian children. They want to kill. They feel like they've been wronged by society, almost like they're demon possessed and want to attack the most innocent among us. Yeah, trans people are insanely overrepresented when it comes to school shootings and should be treated as such. It's just Trook. Just Trook nukes over here by Yeezy. He just doesn't get it.
It's a dishonest way to look at the statistics of mass shooting. And yeah, I've seen people call my friends and colleagues who print guns and who happen to be trans school shooters for doing so. They're
correct. Yes. And that is a warranted statistic. When you see somebody who says protect trans children or, kill a Nazi, what's a Nazi? Well, a white person who has kids. Any white person who has kids or any white person that doesn't agree with you on everything is literally a Nazi, and they want to kill you. They want to kill your children. You can read it in their manifesto. They say that they do not want white children to feel safe. They do not want your children to grow up in a stable society. They want to destabilize every aspect of life. And that includes schools. That includes all major institutions. That includes like Don Lemon going into churches and forcing families out, right? That is what that means. Yes, they hate you. They hate your children. Your children are targets of these insane, evil, demonic, deranged individuals. It's just true.
It's this implied violence that people put onto you that by printing guns, you want to enact violence when that isn't the case. We're peaceful. We're not harmless.
Well, you're very harmful, both to the fabric of society, both to the people around you, but also just to yourselves. Like, that's the truth. Like, every single one of you is damaging yourselves. And then in turn, some of you also damage other people, which is what we would like to stop.
My content is also focused around the fact that not only am I pushing back on that monopoly on violence, but I'm prepared to enact that violence if I need to. I don't.
Well, again, and Yeezy will say like protect trans kids and kill ICE agents and, you know, all these other things. So he is literally like, oh, I'm just a peaceful man, but I would commit violence if in a defensive action. It's like, no, these people given a sniff of power will murder you and your entire bloodline, piss on your grave, and do the most unspeakable evil things because they think that they're correct. They are evil men with no principles who only want power to enact their childish revenge fantasies on the rest of the world. Right? That's it. These are just demons in disguise. Flesh suits for Satan.
Look forward to it. I don't have a bloodlust, but
I mean, he literally wears and sells and promotes groups that say that they want to kill people, that say that people should die, that say that they should murder people with weapons, all this sort of stuff. So he's just lying, which again, all these people just lie. Anytime that they can come off sympathetic, they will lie to your face while stabbing you in the back. And the Rolling Stone, which is a gay communist organization to begin with, of course, they're going to promote it and work hand in hand because they are on the same team at the end of the day.
I will not go down either way without a fight if I need to. I don't care who you.
You're literally going to go down in a hospital bed with high blood pressure and heart disease in like 10 years, dog. That's literally you. That's the way you go out. Sorry, spoiler alert. I've read the end of the book here. I see heart failure in your future, dog. The only thing you're fighting is not the heckin' fascists. It's not the totalitarian right-wing extremist TND right-wing death squads. Nope. It's obesity. That's your only real fight in life, sir. Sorry to break it to you.
Less, but I will not go down either way without a fight if I need to. I don't care who you are. If you point a gun at me, I'm prepared to respond in kind.
It's a grim future to think about, one in which government persecution forces people to take up arms to defend themselves, one in which political violence is carried out with printed weapons.
I mean, listen, political violence and violence in general, it's not a grim future. It's the past, present, and all reality. Like, we live in a fallen world, and that is just the nature of the beast, so to speak. So it's like, wow, in the future, there could be political violence. It's like, checks all of history ever. Yeah, I'm thinking there's going to be political violence in the future. Are you retarded? Like, duh.
People to take up arms to defend themselves, one in which political violence is carried out with printed weapons. Yeezy refers to this future as the American years of lead, but I think he's missing a word. We'll call it.
Also, by the way, that shirt that he's wearing right there says that something like 3D printed guns are for killing ICE. Like, literally, he's wearing a shirt saying to kill members of law enforcement who are attempting to keep your community safe. Because remember, to him, if you don't want 100 million illegal immigrants killing, raping, murdering, stealing, thieving, destroying your community, stealing jobs, whatever it might be, you're an evil person who should die, right? So Yeezy literally thinks that half of the country should die, and he pretends to be like oh, I would never, I just need to defend myself, when really he's like, he wants half of the country to die, to actively be punished for their wrongthink.
The years of lead and plastic, and whether you like it or not, we're already living in them.
Thanks, bro. Anyways, yeah. You can read the article if you want to. I don't want to. It's just Like, this just sums it up, bros. All right, dogs. American. Couldn't even tell you what American is. All right, well, we're way behind schedule, and I've got a lot of work to do. I've got to wake up tomorrow, like, really early, guys, at like 7 o'clock. It's insane. All right, I got to wake up tomorrow early. I've got to drive like 8 hours to North Dakota to go get ready for the Vortex something state championship on Sunday, I want to say. So I've got a lot of stuff to do. So let's get to your guys' support, and then we'll get to rage bait. And man, you guys are not going to like the rage bait. Let me tell you that. Handsome Horse for $20 says we finally made it to Big Toe Money Friday, gents. Free Dugan, Christ is King. Thank you very much, Handsome Horse. Much, much appreciated.
Somebody get these b***ers out of here.
So talking, I grin like that. Everybody laughing, but he still broke when that shoelace tight. He don't fall. It's all I got Super Saiyan, big toe game. I'm not playing. I'm like Goku, Dragon Ball, about to come all over these walls. It's all I got Super Saiyan, big toe game. I'm not playing. I'm like Goku, Dragon Ball, about to come all over these walls.
Thank you, Handsome Horse. Very, very base of you, good sir. Much appreciated. Oh, Jarrett over on Rumble for 5 says, can't watch tonight. Christ is King and God is good. Thank you very much, oh, Jarrett. Hope you have a great weekend. Thank you for the support, good sir. All right, over on Ko-Fi, Conquistador, which is a hilarious name, Conquistador, for 3 says, happy Friday, bros. Made it to the second rounds of interviews for an internal promotion. Hope everyone has a great weekend. Christ is King. Well, Godspeed on that promotion, and Christ is King. Glad to hear, Conquistador. Hope you get that. Geonosian for 3 says, John, the Faxon situation stemmed from me, LMAO. I can confirm that the Reardon Gen 2 hub mounts will work on their muzzle brake. No idea about anything else. Well, again, thank you for that. I appreciate that. Just the fact that they switched to a different thread pattern, but it's close, but not quite, is absolutely insane that they would risk other people's suppressors like that. Chips Dubbo for $10 says, John, when you become CEO of T-Rex Arms, you'll love Tennessee, I promise. Hotter than F here right now, though. Well, actually, I got some family in Tennessee, so you never know, bro. You never know. Thank you, Chips Dubbo. I appreciate that. I'm still waiting on the callback. I did hear that T-Rex Arms took down the listing for CEO. So either they've already hired him, or me, by the way, or they just said maybe that was a bad idea to put public like that. All right, Paulie B for $20. Oh, wrong button. Thank you for that, Paulie B. He says, I'm a simple man, John. I see KelTec's latest Coke Bender-fueled plastic fantastic folding ghetto blaster, and I know where a sizable fraction of a pay stub is going. Though I'm waiting for the bear gun, surprise me with a video. All right, well, hey, I already gave you the vagina and bait video. Everybody loves that, what I'm told. Thank you, Paulie B. Subartic Psycho for $20 says, can't you see? You belong to me. Every step you take, every move you make, I'll be watching you. Have a good weekend, John. Give me a pregnant taser and Alex Jones and a nuttin' fancy. Well, listen, the taser clip is one of my favorite. Here you go.
I'm a pregnant woman, taser.
And I think it's retarded and gay. Okay?
Yeah.
Damn.
Nope, wrong one.
Get ready to lose some pounds. Get ready to get shot and thrown in a ditch. Get ready to get dipped in acid baths. But first, you're going to get raped.
Thank you very much, Subartic Psycho. I thank you. I appreciate that. I'll try to have a good weekend, but you too. You also have a good weekend. AppTac USA says Reckless Ben should take up Sig Sauer. Reckless Ben should take up Sig Sauer. Oh, in terms of the bricks and minifigs guys, yeah, that could be fun.
This is a retarded take.
Whenever you say Ben, I think of that Ben, though. All right. CPL Cripple for $10 says, I lost. Oh, actually, this is not as fun. Sorry. I lost both legs and my right testicle to an IED in Afghanistan. Trust me, lose the foot, especially if it's below the knee. That's easy to come back from. With the right testicle loss and all of the pain, it was a year before I had sex again with a woman. Well, thank you for the clarification, Corporal Cripple. P inside the V. Good to know. Okay, even more clarification there. Well, thank you for the $10. Thank you for your service, bro. But man, both legs and your right testicle to an IED. I'm very sorry to hear that, man. Prayers for you, man. 5'4" Flat Ranger. Hey, just like me, for $10 becomes a Ko-Fi caffeine creep. Very based of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Also, if you're wondering what you're watching on screen right now, this is Advanced Tactical Bicycle Training, which is very, very intense, as you could see. You guys could pay to be trained how to be an intense cyclist, which is like an intensely gay person. Grizzly Bear for 5 says, my cookbook is a roaring success. Everyone's favorite recipes so far are missing hiker pie, salmon gut omelet, and of course, Campbell's soup. Well, thank you very much, Grizzly Bear. I appreciate that. A man after my own heart. Amorite Boy for 2 says, late and by son of a Cuban dictator director coded. Do you mean dictator or director? Isn't former Canadian PM Justin Trudeau technically by and son of a former dictator? Andy Uamo says, GGEZ for 20 jewels. Zanico for 10 jewels, gold coin. Zanico for another 10 jewels, gold coin. We're going to get lots of coins this stream. Ronnie D for $20 says, Christ is King, highlight of my week. Yes, Christ is the highlight of every week, but here you go. Thank you for your $20. Very based. Thank you, Ronnie D.
Gay.
Thank you, Ronnie D. Breakfast Paladin for 2 says, say it for Shiloh. We probably will. We don't have long before we get to Shiloh, unfortunately. Thank you for that. Zandico for 5 says, weekend belongs to my daughter turning 7. Very based. Hey, my son's turning 6. Better tell her happy birthday. Trust me, don't make her mad. Well, listen, I know little girls can be quite a handful sometimes. Now, well, happy birthday, Zanico's daughter. I hope you have a wonderful birthday. Make sure that you get all of the cake and that your father gets a very small piece. Okay. I know he's been struggling with his weight loss journey, but make sure he doesn't go crazy on your cake. Because remember, it's your birthday, not his, your birthday. So you get the cake. You can have a little bit because it's good to share. Okay. It's good to be kind, good to share, but make sure he doesn't take too much. Okay. It's on you. Thank you, Zanico. Ronnie T for 5 says, come on, man. Plan B is really just plan A. Yeah, that's ironically for most people, plan B is actually just plan A. Thank you, Ronnie D. Breakfast Paladin for 2 says, we need an integrally suppressed called nub sub. No, it should be the sub nub sub or the nub sub sub, the sub sub nub. Yes, but I agree. It should come with an integral suppressor like the Novox research kit. I think that would be really cool. Thank you for Breakfast Paladin. Nick Spence for 5 says, KelTec's budget is a small pile of cocaine and whatever money they won and or lost at the casino. It kind of came out surprisingly well, though, didn't it? Thank you, Nick Spence. Appreciate that, sir. K9 AIDS for 440 jewels says, Unk alert. True. Retard alert. NBE for 6 jewels says, chili. All right. Fat Guys Rule for 440 jewels. The Unk alert once again. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. KX for 2 jewels, Silver Star. Hey, wasn't everybody being super mad at you the other day? Was it you, bro, that everybody was crashing out at? I don't remember. Vinland Werewolf for 10 jewels says happy poop. Thank you very much. Milspec Max for 5 says, do you have any in XL? I think they're all L's and XLs in terms of the Dugan shirts. So yes. Amorite Boy for 2 says they need to beat you at a match of Halo 3. Oh, that's how you win. That could be good. That could be very good. Thank you, Amorite Boy. Willie McBilly for 2 says, please give shirt second would be nice for the wife. Totally understand. Thank you, Willie McBilly. Chud McGill for 2 says, Gibbs me dat shirt faux fui. Too many choices. Well, that's funny. Thank you. Danny Dannons for 2 says, donate to the troops, IRGC. Imagine you see like war footage, you know, whenever we invade or they invade, and it's somebody wearing a Free Dugan Parnacon t-shirt. That would be very ironic. Oops. Amorite Boy for 2 says, Amazon RXM holster with HBF TLR1 clone is better. Harbor Freight TLR1 clone. Yeah, I don't know. I need to get some more time with it. I hope it works. I hope it ends up being good, but that just is what it is. Thank you, I'm right, boy. KX for 10 jewels says W. Thank you. Little booty fart. We all have those. Member for 9 months says Lawrence DeMonico eats hot dogs with his butt. Also known as eating them the long way. Thank you. Amorite Boy for 2 says rather have a prosthetic foot than lose a marble. I could see it, you know. Thank you, Amorite Boy. Right Seed Aviation for 400 jewels drops the Eagle. Based Eagle. Power Stroke. We're always power stroking it here for 400 jewels. Also drops the Eagle. Mega based. David, last name for 2, says better pull. Which nut? Left. I'm right-handed, so I need my right nut, right? The power's in the right nut. Crimpin' ain't easy for 5 says dudes say I would give my left nut way too casually. Why not identify the pistol? I would pay this man not to instruct me. Christ is king. That's very funny. Thank you, Crimpin' ain't easy. Dick Cheney's heart for 2 says Boondock about to recreate with a with a shaped 10% gel block. Now that would be funny. Actually, you know what? For Brandon Herrera or some of these other meme reviews, they do need to recreate the penis shot and, you know, do the ballistic gel test on 40 Smith & Wesson hollow points through a ballistic gel cock. Holly B for 5 says half sacks harrowing testicular tail has me thinking I need to carry a smaller caliber EDC. What 25 auto lacks on targets, it spares on me. That's a good point. Yeah. It may not do much damage to other people, but it's also not going to do much damage to me. Good point. Good point. Thank you, Polly B. David, last name for 5, says, how do we know it wasn't the Israeli beekeepers with the palm pistol? Good point. Why is no one asking the important question? What's going on? Well, I think the fact that he was literally holding a smoking gun with a smoking hole in his penar probably gave it away that he was the culprit in his own demise. Thank you, David, last name. Lightsport for 5 says, who is this guy? And he looks like he's not allowed within 100 feet of a school. That's not very nice, although he doesn't really have the equipment to offend anymore, if you know what I'm saying. Thank you, Lightsport. Crimpin' ain't easy for 5 says, ND in the peen, GMA super smiling with hand on inner thigh in hospital. Can't help with the harvest. Is this Dwight Schrute? It's a bit of a Dwight vibe. Yes. Very similar vibe. I did think about that. Thank you, Crimpin' ain't easy. Lightsport for 2 says, congrats on his rapid transition. Lightsport for another 2 says he's literally a Ken doll firefighter now. That's funny. Yeah, the dickless Ken firefighter doll. Sorry, bro. Thank you, Lightsport. Lightsport for another 2 says Hawkeye versus YZY bottom off when? Well, never. You know, I am not gonna be a part of that. You can arrange that fight. I'll let you two battle it out, so to speak. Chud McGill for 2 says, don't worry, blacks are too stupid to make their own guns. I've seen some hood engineers, okay, and they've come up with some wacky contraptions, so you better watch it before you get hit with the plasma cannon. Thank you, Chud. Chud for 2 says, punch a Nazis when they see the 6'5" white guy. It's like, yeah, not real. Not a real thing. Thank you, Chud. And Jason Trower for 500 jewels says, watermelon. Watermelon. Another watermelon from Jason Trower. Thank you. RC X44, 10 gold coins. Thank you. Matt Danka, 2 jewels for 100. 67 jewels for 6-7, says RCX44. Thank you. Carver for 2 says, record your own big toe money for a free shirt. If you send me big toe money, like your own recorded big toe money version, I would probably send you a free shirt. That's pretty cool. Thank you, Carver. Doc the Octus, John, we still need a big toe money black paced mother song. I know, I'm just so busy. I'm gone this weekend. And then I got to stream again on Monday. I got my son's birthday on Monday. We're going to be doing stuff. And I'm busy. Okay, I'll get to it. It'll happen. Keep bugging me about it. Thank you, Doc. I appreciate that, sir. All right. Oh my gosh. Finally, we're caught up. I think we're all good. Yes, we're all good here. We're all good there. We're all good everywhere. Now to rage bait. Okay, so crossing the pond over to the UK. This was a petition that somehow made it to the UK Parliament to recognize the term foid as sexual harassment. Now, this is a big day for the boys because we use foid on the regular, okay? Because foids be acting up a little too much and need to be put in their place, so to speak, all right? So It's not sexual harassment. It's just proper determination. Okay. Calling a foid, it's not a crime, Your Honor. Now, fortunately, this petition was rejected by the very reasonable UK Parliament, of course. But it is just funny that in 2026, we're literally like, we shouldn't be allowed to call women foids, but migrants raping our daughters is like really chill, though. But if you call someone a foid, though, that's a big no-no. That should be sexual harassment, calling someone a foid. Rapes and murders, not that big of a deal. Foid, big deal. Yeah, I'm glad you guys got your priorities straight. Anyways, speaking of priorities straight, damn, I hate everything about this. Shiloh Hendricks has been found guilty on 2 charges, I believe, of disorderly conduct for saying a very special word, at a particular thief.
The child? Do you call him a nigger, the child? Did you call the child the nigger word? It is my own business. You call him a nigger? Okay, why don't you have the boss to say it right now again?
Fuck you, nigger.
Okay.
Nigger.
All right, that's what you say.
Based Shiloh. Also, if this Somalian monster is accosting me and my child, yeah, I don't think I need to say much of anything. There's other actions, but you're recording me and my kid after I defend my property from some other little Enwa running around, little Napa running around. I think there's going to be other problems here. Okay, based Shiloh, by the way.
Nobody dig into your shit.
A little fucking kid just did, you dumbass.
That little kid, you call him a nigger? Yeah. The little child?
He acts like one.
It's true. He does act like one. Listen, they always say like, oh, he was just a child. No, he's like 10 years old, right? They're killing each other at 4 years old now. Okay. Like literally last week, we looked at a story where a 4-year-old shot and killed a 2-year-old. So like a 10-year-old is a full grown, dangerous, some would say animal on the loose. Okay. So calling him a certain word, very appropriate given the circumstance, considering that the thing was literally stealing from them. Also, yeah, of course, the Somali happens to be a pedophile. Like, just is what it is.
Are you about to hit him? You chase him here?
That's actually a good point. 10 years old for some of these Napas is like middle age, bro. Middle age, not wrong.
Took my son's stuff.
So that gives you the right to call the child 5-year-old a nigger, the N-word.
If that's what he's gonna act.
That's
like.
what you're gonna call him.
That's what he's gonna act like.
Well, listen, here's the thing. You can call someone the N-word for any reason at all. You don't even need a reason. Like, you could just walk up to your friend and be like, what up, my nigga? It's like you don't really need a reason. You can just do it. It's fine. You're not really going to get in trouble for it. Or at least you shouldn't get in trouble for it in a just society, right? It's just, listen, if the words harm you, then maybe you shouldn't be allowed to be in our society, which, I mean, it's a totally different conversation, okay?
That's a hate speech, and you can be recorded for that.
This guy with a barely broken English telling you what's hate speech, telling you what you should and should not be able to say. Right. It's so tiresome.
Don't give a shit.
Huh.
Fuck off.
Okay, we'll see about that, what the internet has to say about you. You call him a nigger?
Well, fortunately, she made, I think, currently still up to roughly $1 million. I agree, Rando Numberline. We do need to do something about Minnesota. We'll figure something out. Me and you. Tom John, that's a hate speech. It's like, that's not English, bro. Anyways, she did come away with, I think, $800,000, roughly $1 million. But again, keep in mind what our priorities are in 2026. Who went to trial first? The person who murdered Irina Zarutska or Shiloh Hendricks? After the state tried to get the murderer off on mentally defective charges, which, spoiler alert, most blacks kind of qualify for being mentally defective. Like if we're going by IQs here, it's like 40% of the black population kind of hits the cutoff there in terms of intelligence. It's just, you can get mad at me all you want. That's fine. Who said give Minnesota to Canada? Sean? No, we're not giving Canada anything. In fact, I think Canada might be a little too big, don't you? I don't think they need all that extra space up there, really. I mean, come on. I don't feel like we need to give Canada anything. And yes, of course, Faceless with the correct take here. Breaking, the jury has reached a verdict in the Shiloh Hendricks trial. Count 1, disorderly conduct regarding the child, not guilty. Count 2, disorderly conduct regarding the videographer, guilty, which is insane to me. Also, like, just this image sums up America in 2026, doesn't it? You've got Somali monster in the background, Somali monster filming a white mom and her child at a park after another monster tried to steal from the white child. And the white mother is just protecting the child while surrounded in hell, okay, in nightmare scenario. And that's America in 2026. They can steal from you, they can accost you, they can hit you, murder you, rape you, whatnot. The only time that there will be consequences for actions is if you fight back in any way, or if you say a mean word. If you say something that's a little naughty, a little no-no, a little meanie, okay, well, you get, what is it, 200 hours of community service plus something else in total. Just absolutely nonsense. The jury acquitted Hendricks on the charge involving the child, but found her guilty on a separate disorderly conduct charge involving the videographer. America, we have a problem. Now, that is even more insane to me, considering that the videographer comes up to her, and I call him videographer, we all know what he is filming her and is accosting her and her child, and she responds to him. He's like, yeah, say it. Say the N-word. And then she says the N-word. Like, who cares? Like, what of it? How is that possibly disorderly as she's, like, leaving with her kid? The jury needs to be examined. Okay? Examined is a strong word. The jury needs to be examined to figure out whose side are they really on here. Again, yeah, you could say it's unbelievable, but it's increasingly routine. Again, there are different rules for different folks. Now, here is the lawyer after the trial going on a bit of a tirade, a pretty good tirade. Misses a couple points, but a pretty good tirade. This whole thing is effing bullshit. This is a circus. This is monkey court. This is nuts. This is a monkey court. You know, honestly, most of our justice system is a monkey court. It really is. When you look at who's doing the crimes and who's getting let off and who's doing the letting off, it really is a monkey court, isn't it? Like, we got monkeys running the court. We got monkeys in the court. It is a monkey court. Appropriate term there. This is Shiloh Hendricks' attorney, Brian Corrales. Immediately after her conviction last night, it's well worth listening to, and the only unfortunate part is that it gets cut off after 8 minutes. The one gripe that I have is that he never addresses the anti-white motivation, which is absolutely what it is. Like, listen, okay, if a black person can call you a nigger but you can't call them a nigger, like, obviously there is just this obvious double standard, right? Where one person has rules that they can do and you don't. You're not equal under the law, right? Obvious contradiction, obviously not as it was intended, obviously evil, corrupt, unfair, whatever word, whatever pejorative you want to put out there, right? And the lawyer not mentioning that obvious double standard is a little bit of a miss. Now, me and you, we get it. But that aside, it's nice to see a lawyer this passionate about such egregious injustice. But what really shines through here is that a subversive monster judge, Krista Daly, get to that. There was an entire orchestra playing the conviction march of Shiloh Hendricks, but Judge Krista Daly truly served as the maestro. She is an absolute malignancy, as all female judges are, and all progressive judges are.
I think it's pathetic. I think it's sad. I think it's sick.
What's your reaction to the verdict today?
I think it's pathetic. I think it's sad. I think it's sick. I think shocked. I've never had a trial where they keep people. This is a misdemeanor, by the way, till 10:30 at night. Never even heard of that one before. Most courts, most counties, what they do is around 4:30, 5 o'clock is they say, okay, we're going to send the jurors home. They got kids, they got families, they got things to do. No, we're keeping them. I've never heard of that before. So that alone, I know this is a thing, I guess, Olmsted County, they do this. I thought that was bizarre. But the verdict itself, let's make something clear here. Let's make something very clear. She's acquitted, not guilty, right? not guilty with the child. The state reads a 5-minute victim impact statement about the child. She was acquitted about the child. She's convicted on the count involving the cameraman.
Yeah, absolutely insane, right? The only person that they were really upset about it all was the kid to begin with, the 5, 8, 10-year-old kid, however old he is now. He might be 25 now for all we know, right? But the Somali man who's following around, who's a pedo, right? Who's following around her and her child, that's the actual disorderly conduct charge. Like, if that's disorderly conduct, I mean, that's incredibly mild. Such a nothing burger for 200 hours of community service. That's a month of community service, by the way. Insane. Kid's already in prison. It's true. He already has a record. He already has a rap sheet. I mean, he's starting stealing at 10 years old. He probably started at 6. Let's be real. The kid has probably been stealing for a half decade at this point. Let that sink in.
Who they never called to testify. Keep this in mind. They never called the cameraman to testify. This judge prohibited us from telling the jury that Shire Jamali, had a GoFundMe page, $340,000. He testified that it was done in May last year, done. That's not true. There's a link on the bottom of the page that goes to another open account. My investigator.
Well, at least our girl got roughly $1 million. She'll probably get over $1 million by the time this is all said and done. And the Somali obviously should be deported from the end of a cannon into the Pacific Ocean. But, less than half.
Hit the link last night, donated $10. It's open. You can donate right now.
No, see, the handsome horse, this is the thing. Like, we've looked at other Minnesota crimes where, like, a retarded Somali rapes a 6-year-old and a 9-year-old and gets like 40 hours of community service, right? So listen, what they're saying is quite literally a white woman saying nigger is worse, far worse, multiple times worse than a Somali raping a child. They're telling you that. Like, listen, if you say nigger at a person, you are going to get this crime and punishment. And if this person who happens to be that thing rapes someone, they will get this punishment, right? So there is a absolute objective 2-tier justice system in a lot of these places. The judges, the juries, all these people need to be examined, right? Examined.
You can donate right now to Shire Jamali's GoFund page right now. It's open. He testified under oath and perjured himself. He perjured himself.
Again, they don't even care, right? Perjury is a crime. Are they going to go after that? No, nobody cares. Nobody, like, the judge doesn't care, right? The crime is that you did it, right? The action itself isn't really that important. It's the fact that you were the one who did it.
Over and over and over and over again. This was without any stretch of the imagination. It was like I was fighting the prosecutor and the judge. It was like I'm taking on two parties at the same time. The judge and the prosecutor. It was very bizarre. Very bizarre. GoFundMe. Huge, worldwide, giant. It's like Google, right? This is so big. My investigator was going to testify that this page with Shire Jamali's name on it. 5-year-old. The kid's 9. 5-year-old. $340,000 he raised. The judge would not let me show it to a jury. Sorry. The judge would not let me show it to the jury. Okay? And if you go through any of you right now can go online right now. And it's just like, you can't authenticate this. You can't lay foundation. This prosecutor is telling the judge, oh, how do we know this is real? How do we know this is real? So anyone can make this up. You can go online right now.
Oh, I can confirm. Yeah, Andy Uwama says Olmsted County is owned by the Mayo Clinic. That's where their headquarters are. They are the ones bringing in all the Browns into the county. Sorry. Yeah, as someone who has a family in the area, extended family, not my personal family, but extended family on the wife's side in the area, it's yeah, not a great place.
Now, today, right now, go on that page. I'm unless they run and take it down, scroll down. He has an open GoFundMe. He said on the stand he does not. He lied.
That could be fun. Maybe I can get the lawyer on the show. Do you think I can get the lawyer to say the N-word live? That's the real question, right? Because, I mean, listen, like, it's part of the testimony, okay? What, am I supposed to not read the testimony?
Lied and lied and lied and lied. This entire thing's a shakedown. They ought to be ashamed of themselves. The prosecutor should be ashamed of himself. The judge should be ashamed of herself. I had a bad...
See, I get this guy's rage and fury. You know, he got paid a lot of money. Good for him. He did his job defending Shiloh, and he wasn't able to do his job due to the judge. Right. But I feel like he should understand that the judge and jury and prosecutors are working as intended. They're not trying to give you a fair trial, bro. It's like walking into a casino where the odds are stacked against you and being upset that it's not fair. It's like, yeah, dog, that's the point. That's how it's supposed to be. They don't like you. They don't want you to win. They want to win brownie points. These people want to be elected by the browns that they're importing, right? It's like, listen, if you're a judge and you have plans to be a county commissioner or mayor or governor or whatever it might be, and you're importing 1 million browns a year or whatever it might be, right? Well, guess what? Like, pander to your base or your future base by I'm the prosecutor who prosecuted that meanie Shiloh Hendricks. She said a naughty word and I made sure she stood for punishment on that. She got justice on that. Now elect me for mayor or for whatever else it might be.
Hell here for 4 days on a stupid misdemeanor disorderly conduct. This is nuts. This was crazy. 340.
Also, I mean, Yellow Bacon Box, thank you for boosting Kick's numbers, but there will probably be a point, I mean, I'm just saying, right, where YouTube may no longer be an appropriate platform for me in any way, shape, or form. So, you know, if you want to hop over there, at least give it a follow. I'll drop the link in chat for everybody. Might as well.
1,000. Nope. Can't show the jury. 5-year-old. Kid was 9. His name's on it. Can't authenticate it. Still open account. So we're going to appeal it. We will appeal it. We
That's
have
good.
so many appellate issues. I don't even know where to begin. Judges screaming at me during the trial. Judges interrupting me every time I want to make a record. Judge says to me, Mr. Corrales, you keep wanting to make a record after I rule. This is crazy. Most rulings during a trial by a judge are made during the trial. And then when you take a break, you make a record, right? You take a break, you make a record. I kept asking. If you're in there and you watch the trial, I kept asking. I need to make a record. I need to make a record.
John says this guy is deaf and alcoholic. Maybe that's true, but maybe alcoholics makes the best lawyers, you know? Somebody who's dedicated at his job, and he's so dedicated at his job that he drinks the rest of the time to kind of forget his woes. Like, listen, dude, if I had to deal in the legal system, I wouldn't be an alcoholic. I'd be like a serial killer. Okay, I'd be like, no, there's justice has to get done one way or the other, okay? And this isn't how we do it.
She get upset, run in the back. Get upset, run in the back. Your Honor, I need to make a record. It started piling up. All these objections started piling up. Your Honor, I need to make a record. I need to make a record. She'd run in the back. I'm like, Judge, we got to make a record. This is insane. This isn't law. This is a circus. This is monkey court. This is nuts, right? You make a record. The judge should come out and say, okay, I made my ruling, Mr. Corrales, what is your record you like to make? I try to make a record. She interrupts me from the beginning, right from the start. Every time I tried to make a record, she interrupts me. Every single time. Every single time. I'm like, Your Honor, I'm trying to make a record. That's what we do as lawyers, right? I don't know if the lay people or the people in the community understand this. The way trials work is judges make rulings during trial. We don't want to interrupt the trial to make a record every time someone objects and there's a ruling. So when there's a break or you go to lunch or at the end of the day, you make a record. She wouldn't let me make a record. If you're in there, you heard it. She'd talk over me. She'd interrupt me. Wouldn't let me make a record over and over and over again. Why? She didn't want anybody to hear what? They didn't disclose the name of Shire Jamali until Monday. The first day of trial. No, I'm not done. Sorry. Until the first day of trial, They didn't even disclose his name. Think about that. A jury trial in the United States of America. I didn't get the name until Monday. When we started the trial, until Monday.
Yeah, I don't even know really what a record is in terms of lawyer speak, but he's very upset that he was unallowed to make a record every time he needed to. This guy is JD on test and a slight bit of Colombian Bam Bam. Truk. Yeah, we're letting him cook.
And then my investigators do a record check. Then we uncover, oh my God, he's got this GoFundMe, $340,000.
Mr. Krellis, a couple of things.
Sure.
According to the court, you agreed to those free trial terms about not getting the witnesses beforehand and
did not agree to it. Here's the deal. I thought I was coming down here to try a free speech case. You all saw the video. I thought I was coming to Rochester to try a free speech case based on the video. Then it took on an entirely different, it just turned, right? Mr. Jamali takes the stand. Wouldn't answer any question I asked him. He sat there like.
Now, in the Somalian's defense, like he's actually too stupid to answer any of your questions without, indicting himself, right? Without making himself look bad, without incriminating himself. So, I mean, it probably was the best of him just not to answer anything because he's actually too stupid to work his way through a cross-examination.
This. Oh, I don't understand. He looked at his interpreter. I don't understand. Over and over and over again. When the prosecutor asked him a question, he had no problem through the interpreter understanding. Never had a problem understanding. Not one time. I put the detective on the stand. Detective, did he ever have a tough time understanding you? Never had a tough time understanding him. Never had a tough time. Not one time did the detective have any problems understanding. You're in the jury room or in the trial. You're in the courtroom. You're in the courtroom. You're in the courtroom. He acted like he didn't understand any question I asked him. Every single question was like pulling.
Isn't that true, though? Like, imagine this. You're getting tried in Rochester where they've just imported a bunch of Somalians who are not Americans, will never be Americans, will never have our heritage or our values or, some of our underlying foundations as people. And then you just stack the jury with them. And it's like, it's over. Who cares? Who cares what evidence you present? Who cares what it might be? It's like, oh, but that's my cousin. But that's somebody, who's like me. That's my team. That's my team on the, the prosecutor's chair. That's my team on the witness stand. That's my team, right? Because that's what it is. I mean, there's some pretty famous quotes about color of your skin being the only uniform of the future or something like that. And there's a lot of a lot of truth to that, unfortunately. And it's the only one race, really, ours, that is slowly realizing that.
It's like, huh? It went on and on and on. This is a fraud. This whole thing's a fraud. The cameraman. By the way, let's make something clear. They didn't convict him with the child. Your headlines can be about the child. No, they convicted her on the video with the cameraman. The disorderly conduct is about the cameraman. And from what I understand about the cameraman, he has a GoFundMe. And his GoFundMe, his GoFundMe is he died. He has a GoFundMe that he died. Give money to the cameraman who died. And from what I understand, he's well alive. This whole thing is fucked.
Wait, really? I didn't even know about that. The cameraman faked his own death or said that he died. Like, so give me money on a GoFundMe for funeral expenses while he's still alive. That's insane. But of course, I mean, these people don't have scruples or morals. They just take advantage of mine and yours.
Who died, and from what I understand, he's well alive. This whole thing is fucking bullshit.
Mr. Corral.
This is a fraud. This is a fraud upon the community.
Well, it's ironic there, Mr. Lawyer, that this community is actually known for fraud. So you calling it fraud is not surprising in the slightest. Now, speaking of not surprising in the slightest, I present to you the judge, the Foyd thread, a judge who sentenced Shiloh Hendricks to a 90-day trial, 90-day stayed jail sentence, 200 hours of community service, probation, and a $1,000 fine for using the N-word, has a history of giving sex offenders no jail time. And again, keep in mind, the word nigger and rape, the word nigger, if you are a white person, carries a higher sentence than rape. Just keep that in mind. All right. That is the rules as they've been set out. In January of 2023, she gave probation and community service to a man for possessing child sex abuse materials. She did order him to serve 2 days in jail, but credited him with 2 days for time served. So no jail time for Rochester man convicted of possessing child sexual abuse material. Same judge. Personally, I think that person who possessed CSAM should be killed, should be done away with, should be removed from society. Again, deported from a cannon into the Pacific Ocean. Disgusting. So yeah, again, this guy, Rochester, give me a picture of the man too. In August 2024, she sentenced a man who had sexually assaulted a teen to probation and $3,000 in restitution as part of a plea deal. $3,000 for rape. Very nice. In December, Daley granted a stay of imposition to a woman convicted of sexual assault. A woman, of course. To a woman convicted of sexual assault, withholding sentencing and allowing the conviction to be downgraded if the woman successfully completed the previous probation for a previous sexual assault. Again, in 2023, she gave a jail sentence of only 30 days to a man who sexually assaulted a 9-year-old girl. His jail sentence could be served on work release, according to local news. He also received probation and in-house monitoring. So again, Shiloh Hendricks, 90-day stayed jail sentence. Raping a 9-year-old, 30 days in jail. Okay? Calling someone a nigger, 90 days stayed, 200 hours community service, probation, $1,000 fine. Raping a 9-year-old, 30 days in jail, right? Women should not be judges. Women should not be allowed to vote. Women should not be allowed outside. And yeah, we're going to have a hard discussion here about this whole universal suffrage thing. I think we're just done with that. No, thank you. I've seen enough, Your Honor. I don't think you're fit to serve. The judge, name is Krista Daley. Hendricks' defense attorney said he felt like he was fighting the prosecutor and the judge, which he was. What a tragic, disgusting face of our decrepit state of union in 2026. This is America 2026. Hopefully not for much longer, though. I feel like the pendulum, the boiling point, whatever you want to call it, I feel like there's something. There's something on the way. Who knows, though? Maybe I'm just going crazy. Now, I've got more stuff to cover, and it's all bad, awful, evil, disgusting stuff. Do we just keep going, gents? Do we just make it a long stream, even though I've got to go to bed and get stuff done for tomorrow? I think we keep going. All right, fine. We're moving on. All right, let's go. Wisconsin. Now, this is a new George Floyd situation. Spoiler alert, it's not. Two sources in position to know tell WRN that the man shot by police in Madison today is Corey Darrell Ruiz. Much of the scene was captured on viral video. I have now seen a second, much clearer video. It shows he's got a knife. He's got a knife. As an officer approaches to shout, this appears to be the officer who fired his gun. Taser, taser, an officer says, often preceded by gunshots. It looked like they were possibly trying to cuff him, but hadn't managed to do. There was a struggle. There are multiple officers there. It's an ugly video. I will put it in the comment thread. You hear the clicks of the taser. Then it looks like he's down on the ground when the officer fires. This is probably going to blow sky high. So this is what they're saying is going to be a new George Floyd style protest for Wisconsin. I don't think it blew up into that, but we could just look at the guy's records, which is very funny, isn't it? Mr. Ruiz. Yeah, very American Mr. Ruiz. Anyways, 2024, theft, resisting arrest. 2024, resisting, possesses drugs. 2021, felony conviction, resisting an officer, substantial bodily harm. 2021, felony conviction, battery or threat to judge, prosecutor, law enforcement. Misdemeanor, auto theft. 2020, misdemeanor, 2 counts of disorderly conduct. 2020, felony conviction, bail jumping. 2020, misdemeanor conviction, auto theft. 2014, cocaine possession, marijuana possession, misdemeanor theft. 2014, felony conviction, bail jumping, misdemeanor battery. 2013, misdemeanor convictions, 2 counts of theft. 2009, felony conviction, strangulation, suffocation, 2 counts, robbery with force. 2007, misdemeanor conviction, disorderly conduct. Just like George Floyd. Just like George Floyd. Now we have the actual video of the incident here. You just can't make this up. Madison, Wisconsin. Police are called about a man stealing bikes. That NWA stole my bike and trying to break into cars. Cops arrive and try to apprehend the suspect. The suspect resists and pulls a knife, injuring one of the officers. Injured officer fires shots, killing the suspect. BLM clowns come out to protest, quote unquote, police brutality. White leftists participating in the protest give interviews while acting distraught. BLM activists flood social media in droves, calling for another George Floyd moment. We need to bring back common sense and stop this circus of portraying violent criminals as victims and police officers as villains. Enough is enough. I mean, I feel like there's another solution here, but let's see if we can get into that.
Multiple cell phone cameras from multiple angles. I'll show you kind of the first one here. It's a wide shot. It kind of shows it from the beginning. You see what appears to be a black police SUV pulling into that intersection in Madison, Wisconsin earlier today. Officers jump out. 4 of them appear to tackle a man on a bike. A struggle ensues. We have part of it blurred. And then you see that struggle there. And then you hear 3 gunshots followed by people screaming. Now, Madison police say the man was armed with a knife. They released a photo of that knife. Again, this is also graphic. You just heard the gunshots there.
That's not graphic. It's a looks like a regular kitchen knife, but again, you could still get stabbed and die with that. And if you try to stab someone and they kill you, fair enough. Now, listen, okay, Mr. Ruiz here. All right. Listen, this guy's not white. All right. I know that they do this to try and make the white stats look as bad as possible, but these guys aren't white. Like, I mean, come on. Come on. Also, look at this. Based. Yes, based curb stomp the white guy. 100%. Always been on. Let's see the video here. Yeah, so that guy right there, that guy just unloads at him point blank. You know, what is that a good shoot? Is that a bad shoot? I'll let the lawyers, fight this one out. So ironically, what I thought the Floyd cop was going to actually shoot him after yelling taser, 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 deploys the taser. The taser seems to be effective, drops the guy to the ground. And then the other officer who may have been stabbed, he might have been the one who got stabbed, then does the disposal process. Now, if he still had the knife in his hand, I'm not sure what this black thing is on the ground, if that's the knife or something else, but if he still had a knife in his hand and he's moving towards an officer, like he's still a deadly threat. Sorry, bros. Unbelievable. But again, if we could just consult the arrest record, please. Is it going to load for me? Of course not. Come on. $1 billion company, by the way. Really? You're not? No way. You are so obnoxious. Are you kidding me? No way, dude. Okay, there we go. I think we're back. Come on, you can do it. Anyways, just look again at his insane criminal history from 2007 to 2024. This guy should not have been walking around. No chance, no shot. Who's actually responsible for his death? 1, him. 2, all of the judges who let him off on all of his previous litany of crimes.
That's the switchblade, they say. They say the man pulled it when the struggle ensued, wounded an officer who then fired. They say that was the only officer who fired, adding the others tried to use a taser.
So the officer who fired was the one who got stabbed and was right next to the guy with the knife. Yeah, it's fine, shoot them.
Before this encounter turned this violent. They say the encounter actually started because they got a call about a man stealing bikes and trying to break into cars. Now, it's important to note at this time, police are not naming the man who was killed. They're also not naming the officers who were involved in this, saying all of them right now have been put on administrative leave while the investigation into this shooting gets underway.
I was told by many that they're staying here to make sure that this incident isn't pushed under the rug and forgotten, while most preferred not to.
All right, every single one of these losers here on the bottom, every one of these white liberals, traitors before invaders, friends. Traitors before invaders.
Go on camera. They told me that there has to be change and people can't just walk away and pretend nothing happened. One nearby resident who was at the vigil
old boomer taking a knee for some disgusting groid who, I mean, this is who you're going for. This is who you're marching for. This is who you're martyring. Disgusting. You people should be ashamed.
Isn't the first time this has happened in her neighborhood, saying that she has grown to have less trust in the Madison police.
Well, we need them, but we need them to not kill us or to kill.
Spoiler alert, ma'am. Nobody is killing you because you're a nice old grandma who's got suicidal empathy and retard woman brain. So you should not be allowed in public to speak to journalists. Well, journalists. Yeah, you really shouldn't be here, ma'am. You should be baking cookies for your grandchildren, not mourning the loss of a groid who was breaking into cars, stealing and stabbing people. Nah, not your job. Not your job, ma'am. Go back in the kitchen, bake some cookies for the grandkids. You're going to have a great time, okay? It's going to be great. They'll fill you in on their little lives, maybe some knitting and bingo later. You're going to be so much more fulfilled than protesting out here the death of a groid who would have murdered and raped you, by the way. Maybe not even in that order.
Young people in the street. It's hard to accept that there are people that...
All foids. Deport all foids. Not really. They just need to be, again, no more 19th. No, thank you.
Are okay with this.
But you were okay with the murder and rape and, you know, the strangulation, the assault, the threats, the felonies. You were okay with all of this stuff, though, right? That was all chill. That was all good. And here we have some more performative stuff. I believe this is a Wisconsin candidate for Senate, I want to say, is on Willie Street holding a candle alongside those gathered. Here we have the rare middle-aged Asian foid who's really performative. Dude, I hope she has a really thick accent. Please have a really thick accent. It'd be so funny.
A man died at the hands of state-sanctioned violence.
Say it. It was murder. It was murder.
In front of the crowd. Listen, lady, this crowd will turn on you in an instant. The hesitation to call it not murder, and the crowd is instantly riled up at her. Look how fast they turn. These aren't people you want, okay? Your side is gonna eat you alive.
A man died at the hands of state-sanctioned violence.
Say it. It was murder. It was murder.
Say it. It was murder. This is my statement.
Murder.
This state-sanctioned violence was an execution.
Thank you.
We no longer can have a system that protects a power and a...
You retarded foid. The system literally protects the animals and apes that commit these crimes. What is your problem? Like, we do eventually just have to deal with the problem, right? You can't kick the can far enough down the road. You eventually do just have to deal with it.
Lives of armed officers over black people.
What are you talking about? He's white. Didn't you know Mr. Ruiz was white? I mean, that's what they booked him as, was white. All of his crimes are under white. Like, when you really delineate it, the crimes that black people commit and white people commit, it's like 10 to 1. It's ridiculous. If you were actually to go through and say who is and is not white, you know, we'll bring out the calipers, we'll do the measurements. If you were actually to accurately collate all the data into what is white crime and what is black crime, like, the numbers look bad as is, but I guarantee you it would be so much worse if the numbers were accurate.
We cannot protect a system that continues to rain harm and terror. We all deserve to feel safe. It is a human right.
All right. Well, anyways, let's talk about people who deserved to feel safe, shall we? It has been revealed that the man who smashed into the car of 3 people in North Carolina, killing all of them, is a multi-time convicted criminal, illegal alien from El Salvador. Wow. Remember that YZY Prince wants to shoot ICE agents who would deport monsters like this who murder 3 people. This retarded Asian foid says, oh yeah, remember guys, we got to protect Our good people, they need to feel safe. No, our people need to feel safe. Not you, not your ilk, not the Napas. No, our people need to feel safe. That's it. He is labeled as a white man from El Salvador, of course, in the charging documents. One passenger was still alive, but Sola fled the scene and the passenger didn't make it. Witnesses say they heard a person screaming in pain at the crash, but by the time EMS got there and airlifted the passenger, it was too late. Police had to bring in a K9 team to track Javier Sola down after he fled the scene of the crash, leaving all 3 victims. Javier Sola has been not just arrested, but convicted for reckless endangerment, failure to stop after an accident involving damage to an attended vehicle, and driving without a license in Maryland in July 2015. He also has an arrest for escaping from custody. Despite all of this, he was never deported. And again, I don't want this guy deported. There's no need to waste manpower and resources and energy. Like, you murdered 3 Americans. I feel like we can find a more efficacious solution to this whole ordeal.
People screaming and all that, and they pulled the man out, and as they pulled him out, he started screaming.
Police say they found one car with 3 people inside. 2 of them died at the scene. The other was airlifted for medical treatment, but later passed as well. Quindell Woods didn't want to show his face on camera, but tells me he walked out of his front door to the horrific scene.
I mean, it's wrenching. I mean, it hurts. I mean, I felt it, even though I'm not the family member, but I felt that whole thing. I mean, I just prayed that God was with him.
Police say the driver of the second car involved, Javier Penasola, has been charged with felony hit and run after a police K9 team tracked the suspect away from the crash site. Penasola's car was found in a creek not far from the scene. Now, we are still waiting on the names of the victims of that crash. Salisbury PD tells me they're still working to notify family members. They also say more charges could be coming.
Yeah, more charges should be coming, but really small charges attached to 9mm projectiles, personally. Hey, how about these people? How about who actually needs to feel safe? Could you remind me, retarded Asian Floyd, who actually needs to feel safe here? Who is that again? Oh yeah, crazed migrant allegedly executes 3 Minnesota apartment complex staffers over parking contract dispute. Who needs to feel safe again? Whoa! Spoiler alert. A disgruntled migrant allegedly gunned down 3 staffers at his Minnesota apartment block in a crazed rampage after he couldn't cancel his parking garage contract. Tiskab Benesu, 30, allegedly shot dead Nancy Fuentes. Who? Fuentes? Zambrona. What a weird combination of names, African and Hispanic. 25, Dennis Silcox. 56, Adam Wildering. 43, at the complex in St. Paul, Minnesota, Monday. Benesu, originally from Ethiopia, wanted to cancel his $65 a month parking garage contract as he has aspirations to join the Navy. Well, I hope he gets filled with semen in jail for the rest of his life. Documents seen by the outlet claim. He called staffers regarding the cancellation process, but they said he couldn't opt out after just renewing his contract. Benesso told the workers he was going to go down to the leasing office before launching his alleged rampage. He went to the lease office after a short time after the phone call and executed 3 workers. The court documents state over $65. Right? When I tell you that these people, I use that term extremely loosely here, when these things don't value human life, like, it's very real. Like, they would rather murder you, rape you, steal you, beat your head in with a baseball bat, whatever it is, than like pay $50, right? Your life is literally meaningless to them. It is nothing. They cannot comprehend your consciousness, your existence outside of like this 10 to 15 second window where these things operate in. There is no future. There is no past. There's only like this tiny little window in which they operate in. There's no like external world. There's no inside of your mind. There's nothing else, right? It's just them, and any sort of inconvenience to them is a death sentence. A death sentence to you.
St. Paul man facing murder charges after police say an argument over a
Sorry, I'm just switching the page to YouTube here.
Charges after police say an argument over a garage contract led to a triple shooting at a St. Paul apartment.
Now, 30-year-old Segab Benessu has been arrested in Virginia, Minnesota, hours away from that scene. Tonight, the victims have been identified as 25-year-old Nancy Zambrano, 56-year-old Dina Silcox, and 43-year-old Adam Wilderwing.
Pilar Pedraza on the scene both last night and today. Pilar, I just can't imagine how neighbors are feeling there.
Neighbors, he thought. Neighbors could be here.
Well, there's definitely a combination of cautious relief today at the news that there has been an arrest, as well as grief over the loss of 3 people that many who live in this complex have known for years. If you take a look here behind me, you can see the makeshift memorial that has grown up throughout the day.
Somebody's mom, somebody's grandma, somebody's sister. That is such a Midwest thing, by the way, to put a big gulp on the grave. That is okay, or on the memorial. That is a very, very Midwest thing and tragic situation, but that aspect of it is very funny. Now, the animal who murdered this person, again, mother, sister, grandmother, maybe even, disgusting.
As people have brought in flowers and other tributes to those who died, including a picture of what appears to be one of the 3 victims, Dina Silcox.
It's tragic. It's a shame.
Tracy Stevens has lived in these apartments for the last 7 years.
Also, these Section 8 style housing blocks are just breeding farms. That's all that they are. So you have like the managers that manage it and get state funding for all of the Section 8 breeding farms, but that's all it is. It's breeding farms, it's crime farms, it's a hive of scum and villainy. Pray you never have to go inside or deal with these types of people.
Her building is right next door to the leasing office, where 3 people died Monday night. The first she knew anything was going on was when she came home.
I met a couple of police officers down on Davern. Guns drawn.
Eventually, she learned she knew the 3 who died. Adam Wilwarding, Dina Silcox, and Nancy Fuentes Zambrano. She's not alone.
Yeah, I worked here for a couple months before I was transferred to a different property, but I knew all the officers.
And that could have been you, bro.
Hyan Erickson was one of a growing number of people stopping by to contribute to a makeshift memorial outside the leasing office.
I shouldn't have to, but just respect, I guess. So, excuse me, I'm sorry.
The loss weighing heavy in the moment. Everyone who lives here scouring their memories Tuesday, wondering if they saw or heard something. Trace.
I wonder if they're going to show the picture of the person who committed the crime. There he is. Let's skip to that.
St. Paul, Pilar Pedraza, 5 Eyewitness News.
Pilar, thank you. Let's dig a little deeper into those charges now. Segab Benessu is now facing 3.
Again, just nothing happening between the eyes, pure evil, not even, he's not like us. He's not like us. All right. There's nothing going on here. We don't need him. We this aspiring to join the Navy. We need to bump up the IQ requirements to be in this country, but to be in the military back up to like 95. Unbelievable.
Counts of second-degree murder. And as we mentioned, this happened in the leasing office of that apartment complex. Court documents show apartment staff members told investigators the man called to cancel his parking garage contract, but workers told him he couldn't because it had recently renewed. Well, then he went to the office a short time later, and that's where shots broke out. The report says his roommate told police Benessu said that he argued with management and ended up killing 3 people. The criminal complaint says Benessu then took one of the victim's cars and drove up to St. Louis County, where he was arrested.
Meantime,
Murdered a bunch of people, drove away. Again, no value to human life. They don't care. Murdering 3 people over $65. Subhuman behavior from subhumans. How about another one, gentlemen? Again, remember, every time I think about one of these new ones, just remember this stupid grandma Floyd here and this retarded Asian Floyd being like, we need to feel safe in our communities and police are just out here murdering people. The police. Yes, the police could be here. Virginia woman's remains ID'd by DNA as police link 4 suspects to the alleged second murder. 4 suspects, huh? That's crazy. 4 suspects. Suspects could be here, I thought. Virginia woman remains ID'd by DNA as police link 4 suspects to the second murder. 4 suspects accused of killing Virginia teenager are now facing charges in a second homicide after investigators identified a woman whose remains remained a mystery for more than 3 months. Revealing what authorities say were 2 connected premeditated killings. Helen Marie Pullen Banks, 56, of Culpeper, was identified through extensive and complex DNA analysis completed July 7th after her remains were discovered March 27th on private property. Authorities announced this month that Rashad Antonio Mayfield, Devontae Gregory Petaway, Jaden Lamont Phillips, and Kennedy Jade Lambert have each 18, 19, 20, and 21, dude. Animals. Dogs. Lower than dogs, because dogs wouldn't do this. 18 years old. Have each been charged with first-degree murder, conspiracy to commit murder, and use of a firearm in the commission of a murder in Banks' deaths. All 4 suspects were already being held without bond after being charged with the murder and the death of 18-year-old Jaden McComber. They just be killing. They just be going out. They got ops. They just be... Like, we don't have to live like this. There is a solution. These people should not be allowed to murder our own. McComber disappeared the same day Banks' remains were discovered. His vehicle was recovered the following day in Virginia Beach with assistance from the Virginia Beach Police Department, according to the sheriff's office. Authorities said the vehicle was thoroughly processed and produced valuable investigative leads that helped investigators locate McComber's remains and identify the suspects. McComber's body was found March 31st in a pond near the Caroline County line. During April 2nd search of Henrico County residents believed to be associated with Mayfield, investigators recovered personal belongings thought to have been in McComber's possession when he disappeared, authorities said. But just look at this. Rashad Antonio, 21 years old. Mayfield was arrested on charges during a traffic stop conducted while investigators were searching the residence. Authorities says a handgun was seized from his possessions, though they have not disclosed whether the firearm has been linked to either homicide. Petaway, Phillips, and Lambert were arrested during a simultaneous operation at an apartment on Kenaway Avenue in Henrico, Caroline County. Investigators were assisted in the arrest by the U.S. Marshals Service Capital Area Regional Fugitive Task Force. Again, why can't we just say that they were resisting arrest and just do away with all of them? He's got a gun, bang. Sorry, it's over. All 4 of them. That's crazy. They just kept passing the gun around like hot potato, and we just kept shooting them. Following the arrest, Sheriff Scott Moser described the case as complex and difficult investigation and praised the relentless work that led authorities to the 4 suspects. Oh my gosh, every picture just gets worse. The sheriff's office said ballistic testing performed with assistance of the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms and Explosives later produced forensic evidence linking the 2 murders. ATF doing their job for once. This is what they should be doing. They should be going after these types of people. They should be using their expertise to go after these people and prove that these people are guilty and then do things to these people. Investigators say both Banks and McComber knew at least one of the suspects before they were killed. However, authorities say they have uncovered no evidence that either victim had a conflict or dispute with the suspects over what investigators described as premeditated and deliberate acts. What does premeditated mean to some of these people? Like, if they can't think a few minutes ahead, what does premeditated even mean? Authorities have not disclosed a possible motive or said whether Banks and McComber knew one another. When Banks' remains were first discovered, the property owner who found them was understandably shaken and did not approach the body before calling 911. This is a deeply disturbing case, Moser said at the time. The scene our deputies and investigators encountered was difficult, but they remained focused and professional from the moment they arrived. Now, what happened to that person's, to the woman's body that they didn't find it for months? And they tried to dispose of it and had to use like a bunch of DNA testing to actually figure out who she was. What did they actually do to the body? And I probably don't want to know. The sheriff's office later alleged that those responsible had taken... There we go. There it is. The sheriff's office later alleged that those responsible had taken sick and deliberate measures to conceal Banks' identity, calling it one of the more disturbing cases investigators had encountered. Authorities have not publicly detailed those alleged measures. So those 4 animals cut her face off, cut her fingers off, cut anything that could be identifiable off, disfigured her to the point where she was not identifiable. These 4 animals on the right. Banks' identity was formally confirmed July 7th, and investigators met with her family that evening to notify them. This case reflects the relentless commitments of our investigators to pursue the truth, Moser said after announcing the identification. While no announcement can ease the pain of this loss, we hope today's identification of Helen Marie Pullen Banks provides at least some measure of answers for her loved ones. No, we need 1, 2, 3, 4 quick drops and a sudden stop, personally. That's all. Ah, man. We do this a lot. It gets, some of these cases are just so disgusting, so disturbing, and there's so many of them, just one after the other. It's a never-ending stream. I had somebody ask me, like, how do you find all this stuff, John? It's like, it's so easy. There's so much of it. I have to cut out like half of it because there's just so much of it. Meet a new one. Databian Fortenberry of Charlotte, North Carolina. Not a great place. Has been arrested 57 times with over 150 charges. He was caught on camera violently beating a woman in her own home nearly 4 months ago. They didn't even arrest him for it. He's walking out free right now. Listen, man, if your mugshot is a freaking, pantheon of your life, you know how people do those videos where they take a photo of themselves every day for like 10 years and then they post the video? That's basically that, but for black people. Right? It's like just mugshots. They just get a mugshot every week, and do a time lapse at the end of like 10 years. I mean, that's kind of funny. But at the same time, right? It's just, why? Why would we have to live like this? Why does this person get to exist? Why do they get to walk around? Why do they get to be here? Why do I have to put up with him? Why do my children have to walk around in a world where this person is free? I just don't think we need that. It's like family photos. It's just mugshots. Yeah. Like my mom has like scrapbooks of all the kids and whatnot, like pictures of them growing up. But for black people, it's just mugshots of all the kids. How funny is that? No pictures of their dads, though. Who would know? Yeah, you know what? 3 strikes rule, not a bad idea. But only for certain races. We only need it for certain races. Let's be real. 3rd time's the charge. Congratulations, you're done. Now, let's try a little bit here and lighten up the mood a little bit, okay? Because this is graphic and gross. It is censored. But we have some African engineers here escalating a routine traffic stop into, well, at least an arrest. Probably not prison time because, again, they're the wrong complexion. But body cam footage captured routine traffic stop that escalated. Nope, I can't read that. And they repeatedly refused a lawful request to identify herself. What began as a traffic stop for a traffic violation quickly turned into an arrest and a vehicle search. So what happened is they failed to come to a complete stop at a stop sign. They get pulled over and then immediately become argumentative, start fighting, and just being terrible, terrible people. But before we get to that, let me get to these. Captain Price is my dad for 67 joules, says 6'7". Mega base. Thank you, Captain Price. Ronnie D for 5 says, if her kid needs a stepdad, I support her stance. If her kid needs a stepdad. No, I'm pretty sure Shiloh's married. If we're talking about Shiloh, Ronnie, I'm pretty sure she's married. Yeah, I think she's good. Thank you, Ronnie D. Lightspore for 2 says, judges have homes and families too. It's true. You know, it's just one of those fun facts of life. Thank you, Lightspore. Please don't Narcan me. That's funny. 1,000 joules. W Pinata. That's funny. I will not Narcan you. Amorai Boy for 5 says, I used to date a girl from Rochester. Turned out crazier than I wanted to deal with and super liberal. Whole place is like that. Yeah, I'm incredibly lucky to have not been ever around a liberal woman in a relationship. Thank you, Amorai Boy. Milspec Max for 2 says, John, can you play NHH on stream? I don't think I can. YouTube takes down all of them. So if you do like a wholesome version of it, I can, but I can't play the actual NHH. No, YouTube does not like it. Ronnie D for $20 says, thank you for keeping this going. Remember, Christ is always the role model. Well, thank you, Ronnie D. It's very true. And it's one of those things where you often struggle with that, like as a Christian, like what do you do with these types of people? And so is it moral? Is it right? Would God look favorably upon you if you let these people rape, murder, pillage your land, kill your family, deface, his people, deface, your children? And I think the answer is no. We see a very clear history in the Old Testament of defensive wars, in some cases, offensive wars. We see the history of the church, whether it's the Byzantine Empire or the Crusades, where there are times where extreme actions are necessary, warranted, and even blessed and like the righteous moral thing to do, right? So I don't want to be so aggressive where we are dehumanizing people and just genociding everyone and everything in sight for my own personal sense of vengeance, right? For my own personal sense of justice. But there is a time to stand up and to clean house, just as Christ did. Thank you, Ronnie D. I appreciate that. That is very, very based of you. What's a funny one for that? Here we go. Mega! Thank you, Ronnie D. Appreciate that. Dildo Faggins for 2 says, KelTec on top, baby. Nose candy taking another win. Always do. Thank you, Dildo Faggins. Bojangles for 5 says, there's always a way to solve this problem, but people, or more so conservatives and the right, still believe in the justice system and the feds. Well, I think conservatives do, but I don't think the right does, right? And the right, as I define it, obviously we can define our terms differently. The right, to me, the right wing is, we've left conservatives behind. Conservatism is not our name. It's not our game. We don't identify with the Republican Party. We might utilize the Republican Party in some way, shape, or form to pursue our goals, but we're not Republican, right? We don't even really believe in democracy on the right wing. Thank you, Bojangles. Ronnie D for $50. Absolutely insane support, Ronnie. Thank you so much. That is incredibly base of you.
You don't get to ask those questions. What's wrong with you, Mom? Why are you so scared?
Says, train hard every day you can. Train every day you can and work hard enough, smart enough to elevate yourself and family to a better standing. Christ is king. It's true. That's your job, right? Our job, your guys' job in chat is to do the training that you can do, dry fire, physical, get your cardio in. Get that on lock, be disciplined with your time. And then whatever it is you're doing for sustenance in terms of a job, always be scheming, always be working, always have a plan, be moving somewhere in some positive direction where you can better your own standing and therefore better the standing of your friends, family, children, wife, whatever it might be, right? Because you, whether you like it or not, are part of us. And so collectively, we need to utilize our power, our will, our struggle, and we need to focus our energy to building, a system that works for us. Okay. And it's not going to be easy. It's going to be really boring. Most of it's going to be insanely mundane, but it is going to be one day at a time. And it's going to be you bettering yourself and doing what you can. And that's all it is. That's all it takes. It's just doing a little bit every day. Thank you, Ronnie D. You are insanely based, mega based, Ronnie D. Give it up for Ronnie in the chat. Man, guy, dude for two says random. Scotty K Fitness isn't gay. He started BJJ. Well, yeah. Blowjobs for Jews. I don't know. Something like that. Thank you, man, guy, dude. I appreciate that. Still not beating the gay allegations. Over on Ko-Fi, Frog Commander for 3 says KelTec for the win. I carry the P3AT pocket rocket everywhere. They came out with it years before Ruger or Smith & Wesson made a polymer 380 for pocket carry. Yeah, Ruger has been the first for a lot of things. Not the best, but they have been the first for a lot of things. Flow through Zincan for 5 becomes a Ko-Fi caffeine creep. Nupid becomes a Ko-Fi caffeine creep. Appreciate that. Thank you guys over there on Ko-Fi. Very based of you. Make sure that's it. Oh, Jarrett, can't watch tonight. Christ is King. God is good. Thank you, Jarrett. I think I already got that one. Bushmaster for 2 says, I'll have to catch back up later. Crazy night at work so far. God bless and good night. Good night, Bushmaster. Hope you're doing well. Oh, Jarrett for another 2 joined back. Says, I joined back at the worst possible time. The rage bait is working. I apologize, man. I apologize. All right. Well, listen, guys, this is gross. This footage you're about to watch is gross. It's awful. It's 2 minutes long. Just strap on, strap in. And yeah, that I agree. God would not want you to sit back and let yourself and your people go extinct. And God has never allowed that to happen. That was never a good thing. All of God's nations and God's peoples have always fought back and always done what they could, right? Just throughout, not only in terms of biblical time, but in terms of just post-Christ history, that has always been the case.
It's a ticketable offense, but use our discretion to give you a ticket or not. But you have to identify yourself. Okay? Because if we're going to write a ticket for somebody, right, we have to know who they are. What's that? With how things
don't hit my shit.
You're probably going to get a ticket. I need to.
Both hands on the steering wheel. I'm going to have you step out.
Just the arrogant entitledness, the side profile here is hilarious. Of course. He's getting boxed in. He's being uncooperative. Yep, you guessed it. It's arresting time.
Both of you are stepping out of this car. You first. You hear me? Nope. You're not doing whatever you want.
Man, I'm a free man. I'm a free man. I don't recognize your authority.
I don't recognize your authority. Dude, you don't recognize letters, my friend, let alone authority. Can you spell authority? Why don't we start there? Recognize authority.
Can you call my mom, please?
No, I'm not calling out right now.
I don't know what's going on.
You're about to get arrested. Can you call my mama? My mama need to know. My mama need to know I'll go in jail, man. She do for, man.
I'm in fear for my life right now.
Put your hands in the dashboard.
I'm in fear for my life right now.
Put your hands in the dashboard. Ma'am, put your hands in the dashboard.
Keep your clothes on, ma'am. Stop doing that.
Stop. Ma'am, what are you doing?
But why, though? Why would you do that? Like, is that just default? Is that what happens when your boyfriends beat you? You just do that? Is that... What is going on here? And it's all censored, of course, fortunately, but it's just like, have you no shame? No, they don't. They do not.
Put your clothes on. Put your clothes on.
Ma'am, you're going to get pulled out and we're going to put your clothes on you. Stop doing that. Stop doing that. Put your clothes on. Ma'am, put your clothes on.
No,
Stop.
Call my mommy. Call my mama.
Ma'am, what are you doing?
doing right now? What are you doing? Come on, put your clothes on.
Cover up. Stand up.
I want my mama. Cause y'all stopping him, y'all put him under the door. Y'all arrested him for nothing. We didn't do nothing.
Put your bra on.
We didn't do nothing.
Put your arm on. Come on. Come on.
We didn't do nothing. We didn't do
Can you
nothing.
put your
Black looping, like almost instantaneous victim complex.
arm to the
We
sleeve?
didn't do nothing.
Okay, let's do this.
Because
Let's
y'all
put your
trying to
jacket
pull me
on.
out of the car. We didn't even do nothing.
Put your zipper on.
No, it's hot.
We're gonna cover you up because you felt the need to take off your clothes for no reason.
It's hot. And y'all trying to pull us out of the car. Bill was gonna take off my shirt.
Congratulations on getting arrested, by the way. What? I'm glad I don't understand. I'm glad I don't get it. Now, here's a new one. Mogadishu, as it's known, also Chicago. I can't believe that this is a real thing that certain people have to endure. I feel bad for the cops in the last clip having to deal with that Groy Foyd, or whatever you want to call him. But anyways, this is footage coming out of Toledo, Ohio. A July 4th block party in Toledo, Ohio turned into a fatal shooting as more than 300 people fought and shots were fired by multiple shooters. The shooting during a large block party left multiple people injured, including an 11-year-old who was shot and a 17-year-old boy who was shot and killed early Monday morning in central Toledo. Toledo Police Chief George Krall said Monday at a news conference that 12 people were shot during the incident, including a 17-year-old who was airlifted out, and blah, 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 where he later died. 4 other victims, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, and 11. The 51-year-old male was also involved. All of the other victims are expected to be okay. Now, sorry, dang it. The footage here is absolutely insane, though. So imagine being a policeman, an officer. There's a block party. It's getting unruly. You're responding to reports of shootings, and you just get into the middle of what might be 30 people shooting at each other, right? Friend, foe, who knows? It's pitch black out. There's a bunch of black shapes running to and fro with muzzle flashes going everywhere. Just listen to this nonsense. Absolute nightmare scenario here. That's gunshots, by the way, happening outside.
You know.
And so these cops running in there, just the nightmare. You know there's shots going off everywhere. You can't tell who's shooting at who's shooting at you, friend, foe.
Move! 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 Find cover! Find cover! Get down! Get down! Get down! Stay down! We got multiple shooters everywhere.
He's calling it in. He's like, listen, yeah, me and my partner, we're outnumbered like 300 to 1. We have shooters everywhere. Can you send everyone here like now? Now? You know, and it's like there's people running, there's people shooting from everywhere. It's just a nightmare. And every possible bad thing that could happen to you, and you're in the middle of it, right? Jeez. Yeah, no, and they still ran into the dark with just people shooting everywhere, man. People shooting everywhere.
The street west of Detroit. Stay down! Stay down! Everybody stay down!
Unintelligible murmurings. See, that's the thing. It's like every single one of these people in the dark could be hiding a gun, waiting to kill you, right? You're there to try and stop the violence, and all of these retarded, animals running around in the dark killing each other could be just waiting to stab you in the back. So that, nightmare scenario. Friend foe distinction turned off. There's no red bars, no red name tags that pop up. Everybody looks like a threat. Every single one of them.
Stay down, stay down, stay behind the tire. Stay behind cover. Stay down. Stay down. Everybody stay down.
I mean, I wish I had the rest of it, but it is absolutely insane. Full props to the cops for going in there. Nightmare scenario. Absolute nightmare scenario. Couldn't pay me enough to do that. I mean, that was probably hotter than a lot of people's combat deployments, okay? Like that one evening, which just happens to be a July 4th block party in Toledo, Ohio, is probably hotter than some people's combat deployments. Right? Well, are you guys still arguing about the Quran in chat? Come on, guys. Come on. We're better than that. We solved that problem like 700 years ago. All right. Now, this is funny, at least. We got to end on a little bit of a lighter note here. We've got a man versus a brick for Mr. Guns and Gear, and the brick fortunately wins. This is a Napa who's on the sauce, who's on the Colombian sugar boogers or booger sugars, whatever it's called. Okay, I don't know what these people do. Probably just Fent, let's be real. But anyways, he's losing a fight with a cinder block.
He on that shit. What the fuck? Oh, shit. Nice game. He on that shit. What the fuck? Oh, shit.
All right.
He lazy. Yep.
Now imagine being this thing's neighbor. Imagine living in an area where these things are just walking about. Why?
They gotta call the police. The ambulance. He lazy.
What happened? What the fuck? He just blew the fuck out of me. I'm scared. He can see.
Nice game. He on that shit. What the fuck? Oh, shit. Nice game.
Yeah, IRLs. That's what it's like. Rage monsters. Like there's no thought going on. They're just destroying their environment. They're flinging around. There's nothing, right? Did I just hear ambulance? Yeah, it's no, not me. Not me. Never gonna live there. Absolutely disgusting. No, thank you. And now we've got Tesla chases ending in the best way possible, I guess, for Tesla owners who are shooting at people after they get called off.
All frequency sound by 7 in pursuit of an ADW shooting suspect. Gray Tesla cyber truck. 2480W, possibly armed.
Door northbound to Florida. Now making a U-turn back to southbound. The vehicle has a bullet hole on the driver's side door.
90 have all families good. That's a pursuit.
Hey, 90, before I do that, I have CHP right behind you. Do you mind if I get up into this pursuit?
Grab my band, I can get out of that pursuit.
Okay, and we are giving up the shooting suspect that was shooting having vehicles on the 210, what I believe to be Muslim. Just want to be sure you got the whole picture that you came in a little late on this.
There is no shooting suspect, it's just evidence of a little hole in the vehicle. That's all they have right now.
So, anyways, the police chief is pulling off his units and giving it over to CHP. While the helicopter pilot is like, or the guy in the helicopter is like, hey, no. The vehicle was actually shooting at other people. Now, I do have to say, okay, because most of your ops are going to be using like 9mm, maybe 40, a Tesla Cybertruck is not a bad option, right? It's actually not a bad option because of those aluminum panels are resistant to a lot of like 9 and 40. So honestly, a Cybertruck is not a terrible option if you need to shoot up some ops. Okay, I'm just saying it offers a little bit of protection. Now, as soon as they pull out the Draco or the ARP, it's not as effective then. But if they got, a Glock with the switch or a 40 or something like that, problem solver, it is like not a terrible option.
But I'm just letting you know, I observed muzzle flash coming from the vehicle. I just want to make sure that was clear.
Cancel the pursuit.
Stainless steel, whatever it is, stainless steel. Okay, my bad, stainless steel.
Yeah, copy. Cancel the pursuit. PHP station. Over.
Cruising down the street.
Dude, imagine doing a drive-by on autopilot, right? So the car is driving for you. You don't even need a wingman. It's just you. I never thought about that. Tesla drive-bys on autopilot. You know, no co-pilot needed, no wingman needed, just you and Tesla AI autopilot. Fantastic combo.
In my 6'4", jocking the bitches, slapping the hoes. I can't. My fucking legs broke.
I'm glad he crashed his car. What a nice little young man. Oh wait, it's another Napa engineer driving like a retard, shooting at people out of his Tesla. All right, bro. And I do like how obviously he breaks his leg in the crash. Hopefully some other damage in there as well. And they're just like, all right, bro, we're gonna cuff you and throw you in the back of a cruiser. Just what a wonderful young scholar. Unbelievable. All right, guys. I think that's it for tonight. I think we are finally actually out of here. I appreciate each and every one of you for giving me your attention, your time, and your Friday night. I don't know whether that's a compliment to myself or an indictment on some of you for, spending your Friday night here. Like, that's crazy, right? But I hope that I actually did provide you some entertainment, some information, maybe a little bit of higher blood pressure, A little bit of high blood pressure is good, though, right? I'm not a doctor, so that's probably, I'm guessing not. I'm guessing blood pressure and other things are not a good thing for you, actually. But regardless, all jokes aside, I genuinely appreciate each and every one of you for hanging out. Don't think of rage bait as rage bait. Don't think about black pills as problems. Think about them like opportunities, right? It's not that you have to deal with these people. It's not that you have to live in this time. It's not that this lot has to fall to you. It's that you get to do things. You get to deal with it. Every little frown is an opportunity in disguise, okay? And all it takes is a little bit of a change of perspective. So legitimately, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you have a wonderful Friday night, a wonderful weekend. Go to church on Sunday. Do something productive. Work on yourselves. Work on others. Be kind, okay? And kindness is not this generic nicety. Sometimes being kind is telling people the truth, telling people what they need to hear. Sometimes being kind is standing up for other people that need it, that can't stand up for themselves. Sometimes being kind is doing the hardest things imaginable. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Christ is King. God bless. Godspeed. See you in the next one. Peace off.